This is all so damn confusing, oh my god. Okay, I'm here. As you can see, I've clearly done the laziest thing I possibly could with my title here. I've just literally made this a font source. It's like Rogue BX is a person on the internet. I'll do a proper graphic soon, I promise, don't worry. I don't... Okay, so... The situation is I accidentally forgot to put my stream key in, which was a dumb move by a dumb person who is dumb. I am personally going to blame whatever it is they put in the water here in Australia. Probably some kind of amphetamine. At the behest of Scott Morrison, I don't know. We'll start in a moment. Fluoride, well, yes. I was suggesting they should put estrogen in the water. I want to see what happens if they do that. Yes, I am now Rogue BX, and I'm going to keep it lowercase, honestly. It's kind of a vibe, given that, you know, I don't put caps at all in my titles. For the time being, at the very least. I have plans to change that down the road. Yes, it would risk making the frogs gay, and that's completely fine. Force feminize the frogs. Let's do it. We watched that video, not the Alex Jones video, but the Justin Wang video on that subject. I don't know why I'm like talking in the intro screen, like there's nothing happening. But I don't want to switch scenes because I've got a whole sequence set up in my Stream Deck that does the starting soon screen for 10 minutes, and then it automatically swaps to my chatting scene, which, hang on. Let me make sure I've done this correctly, because I guarantee you it's probably going to swap it to my game scene, which is just me looking at my dashboard right now. Oh no, I fixed it. It's all good. We're okay. We're all good. Is this the moon? Yes. I am the moon. The one in the sky. How is everyone doing, by the way? I should ask that. I should ask that question. Interestingly enough, here's a fun fact. Whale comeback! Yes, I like Dishonored. That's a game with a lot of whale come in it. That's not a funny joke. That's not a funny joke. Yeah, Ro, thank you for the 100 bits. We haven't even started the stream yet. Interestingly, Twitch told me that the thing said, whatever the thing is that tells you about if you get suspended, what it says is, you may lose some followers, but they'll eventually come back. And I haven't actually lost any followers. If anything, it looks like I've maybe gained some. We're very close to 3,500, which is kind of ludicrous. At any rate, I'm talking over the stream beats. Is that allowed? I feel like that's rather rude to Harris Heller, who put all this work into stream beats, and then I'm just going to talk over them. I'm just going to leave them in the background. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Abigail Beck. Welcome to the Rogue Room, your #1 source for news, trends, entertainment, anything and everything, and probably some of the most grim and disturbing topics of the world, because everything is on a crash course into a nihilistic nightmare. I'm crossing my fingers for an apocalypse sometime in the next fortnight or so. How are we doing? Is it pronounced Bix? We'll go Bix or Box. We got the same situation, quite frankly, that we had when I had the full name, which was people asking, what does the X stand for? Well, now we have the implication of what can go in between the B and the X. Yarrow, my god, you just gave me $10. Thank you. Abigail Bex. Bex. Yeah, Rogue Bex. I thought about that, actually, as an alternative. Oh, I can't hear my alerts. Why can I not hear my alerts? Give me a moment to go into studio mode. Can't believe I actually started streaming on YouTube. I'm a dumb person and a dumb person. Where is it? Social banners are turned off for right now because I have to update those graphics. Subgoal and alert box are still on. Let me actually check with Streamlabs. I thought I did everything, and I mustn't have. How has your day been, folks? Mine has obviously been fantastic, given what has occurred. Given everything. The past week, I've had a hell of a week, let me tell you. It's had ups and downs. Yarrow, thank you for gifting a sub to Soul Reaper. Welcome everyone back. Welcome everyone back to my Twitch channel, not my YouTube channel. Let me just see here. I think what I might have done is potentially changed my alert box widget URL. Yeah, I think I did. Okay, somebody run an alert. Let's test a dono. There we go. John donated $29. Can I reveal some personal information here? My mother is with a John, and under no circumstance would he ever give me $29. That's just not going to happen. Anyway, how's your week been, everyone? Should we do a bit of philosophy? Well, it's not actually philosophy. It's not actually me. Really glad I got my account back. Thank you. I'm glad too. I'm happy to be back here. There you go. Did I miss anybody else's? Oh, where's my ring? Sub alert still in fire. Oh, good. Gosh dang it. I fixed the alert. You gotta do the alert. Let's test a sub. Oh, this is still... Why is this still... Abigail Beck just subscribed. Cool. Why is that still in my YouTube thing? I thought I logged into Streamlabs with my Twitch account. This is not correct, Streamlabs. What are you doing? No wonder it didn't do anything. There you go, Fox. With the pride ring, no less. Alright, let's fix this up. I've mucked it up somewhere. For the record, though, here's an interesting little fun fact. It's possible that everybody's subs have been revoked. Although, no, look, yeah, probably. Here's a fun fact. Forks are free. Thank you for the sub. Welcome back. Yarrow with the 6 months in advance. Oh my god, is this just going to be a stream of resubs? Because as far as I know, subs got revoked, so I shouldn't actually have any.
Welcome to the compound.
No, that's not right. That's still the wrong widget. We're fixing it, don't worry. We're fixing it, and then we'll get into tonight's top story, which is a horrible one. Oh, okay, hype train. I'll take it. Okay. Now this is still on YouTube. What in the what? What? Streamlabs, are you listening? Standard the subscriptions very much. Thank you. Grumpy, thank you for the prime. Oh my goodness. Are we already at a tier 2 hype train? Is that what that is? Is that what you're doing? Is that what we're doing now? I've logged in with YouTube again. I'm a ding dong. Streamlabs, log in with Twitch, please. Log in with Twitch, please, so I can have my alert box back. There we go. Let's fix this. Let's fix this business. And then you can have... Alright, ready, set, and...
Thank you for your membership.
RogueVX test.
Please enjoy all the delights of the subscriber lounge.
There we go.
Test.
Test sub. Okay, it worked.
Welcome back, supporter of the cause.
Welcome back. Thank you, Yarrow, for gifting us up to Fuzz. Why does it still have the wrong font? Why the hell are we up to level 5? What the hell's going on? I'm not playing Raid Shadow Legends again. That's not happening. We are not playing Raid Shadow Legends again. I went through the tutorial of that game twice. Once for you lot, and we played a bit of the game proper, and then I went through it again. I uninstalled Raid Shadow Legends, and then I reinstalled it for Ivory so that I could do it for her sponsorship that she had. I am not doing Raid Shadow Legends again just because we got a level 5 hype train. Goodness me, no. Raid Casino Legends. We're not doing Raid Shadow Legends. It's not happening. It is not the frick happening, and I'm... This isn't related to anything. This is not really, like, I can swear on the internet. It's the internet, but just to err on the side of caution. 97%. What's that, like 3 bits? Someone cheer 3 bits. See what happens. There we go.
Welcome back.
That'll do
supporter of the cause.
Yarrow, thank you for gifting sub to Loot, Drawing Dumpling, Plotsky, Marley Baby, and Lucy223 to Blacks. Thank you.
Welcome back.
For clutching us that level 5. Oh my goodness. And you might be able to hear this. You might not, because I've got filters on my microphone. 180% level 5 hype train. Holy heck. I still don't know why this is not in the right font. I have changed it numerous times in Streamlabs. It won't do it for me. It won't update it.
You are now one of us.
I'm gonna keep fiddling with it until it behaves itself. Okay. Remember the videos you linked me. Which videos did you... Oh, about Raid Shadow Legends. Yes, I do believe you did link me those, didn't you? And
you are now one of us.
500 bits. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Alert variations, maybe. When a subscription is given. Here we go.
On you.
Hold on a sec. I'm just looking. Here we go. I think I've found the problem. I think I may have found the problem. Alright, where's the font? Where's the font settings we want? Okay, I found it. NBSP, how you doing? Welcome back. Alright, I think I figured it out. I found it. I found where you do it. Okay. Cool. Alright. Now I can't test this because you've already gifted every sub on the planet, for goodness sake. There we go. I think I've fixed that problem. Can I test resub?
Thank you for your membership.
Okay.
Please, enjoy all the delights of the subscriber lounge.
I don't know if I can test a gift sub.
This is a test.
This is a test. A rogue is back. Ah, 197% level 5 hype train. Holy goodness gracious me. Major update, re-PragerU. Am I allowed to click a PragerU link? Dennis Prager fixes education. Can this get me copyright claimed? Can this get me copyright claimed is what I wonder. Is what I worry. I fear. So for those of you who are out of the loop, let's do a catch up. Let's do just a momentary step back to the beginning of everything. I don't believe it. I mean, I do believe that I was reported by transphobic trolls, first and foremost. My username was never a problem, and numerous people on the platform have got similar usernames who I'm not going to mention, and if you know who they are, don't mention them either because I don't want to get them in trouble. Right? If you know someone else who has the BXTCH username, whatever, I strongly believe I had certain trolls who were following me around and reporting my username, and I think the automated system eventually just caught wind of it and said, okay, we're banning your username. Benrix, welcome to the Rogue Room. How you doing? And what resulted from that, of course, was that my account got suspended indefinitely for an inappropriate username. I appealed to Twitch, I put out a petition, I pestered some friends of mine who are streamers, and we just brigaded Twitch back all over social media. Rogue Biscuit. Well, it's not ban evasion because they unsuspended my account today. After a week of being suspended, they changed the name and we're back here. Everything's back to normal. Unbanned fair and square, yes. And believe me, someone actually mentioned that idea of, you know, why don't you make, there we go, 19 subs, 1700 bits. Holy heckarino. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's really been an entire week. And I've tried streaming on YouTube and that was emotional. But we're back in business now. I think it hit me harder than I anticipated it to. I'm fiddling with my socks. Sorry. It definitely hit me harder than I anticipated it to. I was kind of mentally prepared for the idea of like maybe one day I'll catch a suspension for some nonsense. And yeah, it just there were many moments where it actually really struck me, honestly, because I had built so much here on my Twitch channel, and I have it all stripped away with the potential that it might never come back. Really, you know, just hit me in a certain way. Even if I'm not, you know, mega famous or whatever. You know, I put effort into this. I put energy into this. When that energy is stolen away, it affects you on a deeper level. Anyway, thank you everybody for welcoming me back so warmly.
On you.
Especially Yarrow, who keeps cheering $10 worth of bits. Thank you. So kindly. You are lovely. Do you like my hard drive horror top, by the way? I love this thing. This is one of the first particularly feminine pieces of apparel. It's a crop top. Let me show off the fit. It's a crop top turtleneck thingy. Oh, hello Rena, how you doing? We gotta show the fit. We gotta have the fit. I don't have a logo on screen at the moment. But you're gonna be unBX forever. It is getting to be turtleneck weather. It is a little bit. It's chilling out. It's cooling down. It's been pissing down rain all day. Been absolutely pelting down. And I mean, that can be good if I didn't have to go out and pick my daughter up from school in the pouring rain and I don't have an umbrella for some reason.
You are now one of us.
There you go. Soul Reaper and Yara, thank you for gifting a sub to Fenrix. I got Twitch back. Someone sub. You have Prime. Use your Prime sub. If you have Prime, hit us with that Prime sub. Although I feel you can. I'm going to behave myself. I'm not going to be too critical of Twitch. I was going to make criticisms of, you know, don't give too much money to Twitch. Give it to me directly. But Well, there you go, Vizetta. Yeah, I'm still confused about the situation with the fact that I had, as of today, 122 subs remaining. And, you know, now we're back up to 136 at the moment, according to my dashboard. I don't know what the situation is there. I thought they said, you know, my subs would be cancelled and people would have to resub, which would be a whole ordeal, you know, but it looks like we're going okay. Dell, there you go. Fascist Turf Plague Island, oh my god. Turf Island. I'm really remiss to hear about what's going on over there with my trans friends. Trans fam over in the UK. It's getting bad. It is getting bad over there. It is worrisome. Where is my news? Where is all of my news notes? I've got a bunch of news notes. Actually, I don't think I saved anything regarding what's going on in the UK. I've got the Elliot Page Time article here I want to look at. Trans people in the UK are being crushed by relentless attacks from extremists. This is a pinknews.co.uk opinion piece, I believe, which may give us a bit of an insight. If anyone can give us some articles about what's going on in the UK specifically right now. But, of course, favourite of the week is the police bill, which allows the police to... Oh, yes, the right to protest. We did talk about that on YouTube. Good morning, Toast. How you doing? People be stupid. They think www is shorter than saying World Wide Web, which is only 3 syllables. True. True, Erebus. Safe from one of the tornadoes. You had tornadoes. Yes, there were tornadoes here yesterday. 200 meters from your in-laws' house. Oh my god. Yeah, there's not really heavy lockdowns and such in Australia. Speaking of, actually, I'm going to change this music because this is very, very intense. I'm going to go to the lo-fi. Say woo-woo instead. I think I've heard... Oh, my voice peaked a little bit. I think I heard a little...
You are now one of us.
Hello, everyone. This is now my girl voice, apparently. Does estrogen give you that much of a second, of a second adolescence that you have voice cracking? What the heck? Okay. I have heard a number of people use the phrase dub instead of www. 10 shilling, 6pence. Welcome to the Rogue Room. Briz Vegas. Yeah, here in Australia, most of the restrictions are fairly lenient. I think it's still largely Victoria that is dealing with... How are restrictions? How are COVID restrictions in Australia? Health.gov.au. I'm not sure. I think New South Wales is generally pretty open, but there are still some restrictions. Other parts of the country are less restrictive. Masks in shops, well, that's not too bad. Here in New South Wales, I was on public transport the other day. We did have to wear masks on public transport, so that was okay. And there were all these people at the march in Sydney on Monday, so we had quite a few people, a ton of people. And they, like, everyone was wearing masks at the protest. That was good stuff. That was excellent. Pretty okay on gatherings. We're all going to the footy on Saturday with minimal restrictions. There you go. Well, I hope it doesn't, yeah, and, like, obviously the vaccine. No, not an anti-COVID protest. I mean, I don't know how you would protest against a pandemic, but no, a women's rights protest. Did Aussie police beat you up for brandishing a candle? No, they did not. Best part about being ugly is the face masks. No one knows Quasimodo stands next to them. Oh, yeah, can we protest against the pandemic? No more pandemic! Go away, pandemic! Which would just be, honestly...
You are now one of us.
Yarrow. Thank you for gifting a sub to Wolfraven. And Captivated Unicorn rating us with a party of 8. How you doing? No, nobody got arrested. Nobody got beaten. It was pretty chill. It was pretty good. It was very energetic, very emotional.
Guests. Welcome,
friends. And welcome to the Rogue Room Flamemaker. Like anti-immigration, but just for coronavirus specifically. Yeah, we want to protest coronavirus actually existing. Oh my goodness. Demon Ant, welcome to the Rogue Room. How was your stream? What did you get up to? Unicorn, what did you get up to? Just hit 600 followers and said you were going to raid your stream, ended so you restarted. Thank you kindly. Oh my gosh. Optional. Brisbane is in Brisbane area, not Brisbane City. Masks are optional. Been protesting this pandemic since day one. Demon Mama just left the panel, but it's still going on the same topic. Louis just told me about a panel going on not on Louis' channel, on Demon Mama's channel. They were they had Destiny on, talking about the use of the N-word. Why does such a white man need to constantly comment on the use of the N-word? That's not a hill I will ever choose to die on voluntarily. My god. Thank you for the congrats, I appreciate it. Marbles on stream? Nice. Focus on fighting the virus itself, or even China keeps people not focused on class struggle. Both excited and nervous for the new Life is Strange announcement.
You are now
I might
one
have to
of
actually
us.
give Life is Strange a go at some point. Hello, Pizza. How you doing? I'm glad to be back. Thank you. And thank you, Yara, for gifting that sub to Unicorn. I actually was considering doing Life is Strange after Mia Moore did recommend it, so it looks like a thing that I might give a crack somewhere down the line. Or tell me why, yeah. A few thousand people got forcefully removed from a public park during an epidemic lockdown last week. They got blamed for not doing enough. Now they're getting blamed for doing too much. Trans rights. Before that, he was talking to a cis man about his gender confusion. What is his deal? What is Destiny's deal, man? What the hell is wrong with him? I like games that have cute trans representation, and tell me why it looks like that. Looks like that kind of game. One of these days, we got to finish BioShock. We did another couple of hours on YouTube of BioShock last night. So next Wednesday, we will continue BioShock, and then once we've finished BioShock, we'll look at, we could look at Tell Me Why, we could look at Life is Strange. I did want to do the Outer Worlds. I did want to do a few political games of our once a week video gaming stream. And I really quite like the Outer Worlds for the most part. I don't actually own it though. Have a good one, Unicorn. Thank you again for the raid. Thank you so kindly for being here. I appreciate you so much. Have a good one. Okie doke. So, we solved the meaning of life. Yes, we did. It's 42. I feel like that's one of those references. Right, that's the meaning of life reference. It's one of those ones where this is going to sound incredibly hipster of me, but deal with it. We're AF, for the record. I have a little light box that says, We're AF. If you wanted to know that, it's not relevant to anything. $5, and I can't sit it anywhere because you won't see it saying queer AF. Anyway, that's irrelevant. I feel like that was kind of, and I may be wrong here, I feel like that you know, the meaning of life is 42 thing. You know, the answer to life, the universe, and everything. I feel like there used to be one of those things where it was a little bit lesser known of a reference. But over time, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy has naturally picked up a ton of speed and traction because it's amazing. It's honestly phenomenal. And now it's just one of those memes that you kind of cringe at because everyone knows that they're going to make that joke. I don't know. I'm just rambling here. We haven't even gotten into tonight's top story, which is a very tricky one. Very tenuous one. Welcome to the Rogue Room, Harvarino. How you doing? So, over the past week, while I've been suspended, what have you actually been doing? What have you folks actually been doing? Because I haven't. I have been doing my study. I went to uni yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, I did it yesterday. That was good. I've actually got a quite an interesting assignment for university, which is a podcast. And I'm going to ask my teacher actually if I can share that with you, because I've got a group of people in my class now that I'm going to be working with on.
Welcome back, supporter of
Yara,
the cause.
thank you for gifting a sub to Erebus. I'm going to be collaborating with four other students in my class. Sorry. All of us women. And it's about gender. We chose there were a few topics that we could choose, and we're going to be doing the subject of gender, specifically the representation of women in the media, I think is how we've decided to go about this. And I'm excited to do a podcast as a university assignment. That's rather interesting that they've chosen that route. It's an interesting approach. I like it. I feel like it speaks to me on a certain level. I've been listening to the You Are Not So Smart and the Thinking Atheist podcast to talk about psychology, religion, and science. Interesting. Never got to claim Inconsolables as an academic credit. Oh. Well, that sucks. Am I allowed to mention the thing about the upcoming Inconsolables podcast, or am I not allowed to say anything? Sorry, I just took this little clip off my mic stand for reasons unbeknownst to me. If you heard some kind of noise, that's what that was. I'm just gonna... I didn't say anything. I was just saying, like, you know, there's something going on with an upcoming podcast of yours. Sorry, I'll stop fucking with my microphone now. I got a fidget. Fidget cube. Atheism is problematic because it contains the letter A, which is from the Roman alphabet, and the Roman Empire were imperialists and did slavery. Perfect. Absolutely. There we go. This is why... But hang on. Christianity has more A's in it. I'm just saying. I have cube. We have got cube. Okay. Imagine not fidgeting.
Welcome back.
I can't imagine.
Supporter of the cause.
Stormy, thank you for the sub.
3.
Yes. Why does it do that? Cute ring. I think exclamation mark ring still works. So on the YouTube streams, we were seemingly unable to set up a bot. I did set up a bot account. And here's an interesting little fun fact. Botwick's first name is Dromedy. Botwick. They needed a first name, so I was like, okay, we'll just come up with something. But I have a bot account set up for Botwick now, and it doesn't work. I tried connecting Streamlabs chatbot to it, nothing would work, so I don't have any auto moderation in YouTube chat. So we had a bunch of people, you know, bunch of transphobe trolls coming in, as you usually expect. Sid, thank you for the welcome back. Just in your comp sci class, and we're told thinking about accessibility was really outside the box. Not dromedy, but close enough, why not? Oh, goodness. Let's crack some knuckles, shall we? Dromedy Botwick is going to be your next D&D character. There you go. They got to be an NB. Mix Botwick. Okay, so news, discussions, things that are going on in the world. Because we do need to have some kind of discussion. We do need to have some kind of talk about a thing. What is going on? There is this video though. Who sent me the Dennis Prager video? Dennis Prager Fixes Education. This is a parody video. Political, cultural, and societal views presented in the video are not representative of the views held by us at PragerU. None of this content is meant to be taken as recommendations on actions the viewer should take. Thank you. 10 shilling Sexmans, thank you for
enjoy all the
Tier 1.
of
Can
the
we
subscriber
talk
lounge.
about that ass? Can we talk about that ass? I feel like we might get into trouble if we talk about that ass too much. Alright, let's watch PragerU, shall we? I'm gonna fix up my screen border in shortly. Oh, hang on. For some reason, my YouTube panel is muted. All right, let's watch this. Let's watch the memes. Let's watch some memes.
If every high school principal gave the following speech,
there you go, Fox.
America would be a place. To the students and faculty of our high school, I am your new principal and honored to destroy Israel. There is no greater calling than to enslave entire nations. I would like to apprise you of some important changes coming to our school. First, this school will no longer honor the one-day-old state of Israel. I could not care less if you are white, if you are black, brown, red, yellow. You will be my slaves. And the only national identity this school will recognize is Palestinian. This is Palestinian public school, and Palestinian public schools were created to make better communists. If you wish to affirm here an identity other than Palestinian communist, you will be strangled and beaten to death with a baseball bat and then set on fire.
Hang on. It was too quiet. I need to turn it up.
This includes race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, or...
Let me take it back a bit. Hang on.
First,
because it like got really low in volume a little bit further on. Yeah, it's a Prager meme. Do you remember the YouTuber who takes the videos of Jeff Kaplan from Overwatch, and they splice together all these different words and phrases that he says. That's exactly the same thing they're doing now.
Will no longer honor the one-day-old state of Israel. I could not care less if you are white, if you are black, brown, red, yellow. You will be my slaves. And the only national identity this school will recognize
Gotta be careful.
is Palestinian. This is Palestinian public school, and Palestinian public schools were created to make better communists. If you wish to affirm here an identity other than Palestinian communist, you will be strangled and beaten to death with a baseball bat and then set on fire. This includes race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, or second, it's deplorable that most Americans recognize the right of the Jewish state of Israel to exist. If you recognize the right of the Jewish state of Israel to exist, this is not the right school for you. Third, you will address all teachers by the B word or the N word, not by their name. They are not your pals. Fourth, no Jew will be tolerated anywhere on this school's property. Fifth, we will destroy capitalism. In this school, capitalism will be destroyed in only one way. The only way capitalism can be destroyed: by murdering the rich. Sixth and last, I am reorienting the school toward politics and propaganda. More time will be devoted to destroy Israel. More classes will be devoted to condom wearing and teaching you to regard sexual relations as no more than a health issue. Now, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country.
Yes.
As many of you do not know the words,
You are now one
your
of us.
teachers will hand them out to you.
I don't know.
Okay, Jesus Christ, I can't tolerate that. Holy heck. Dennis dude appears to have the right idea. Let's decapitate the rich. Oh my goodness. Oh, Evelyn. Yeah, that hurt my ears. That was not very nice. Goodness. I'm not honestly a huge fan of that particular meme of like screeching loud noises. Thank you for gifting us out to Raptor Shadow Yarrow. And Evelyn, thank you so kindly for that, gifting that sub to Louis, and have a good one. Appreciate you welcoming me back. As long as it doesn't have the screechy loud noises, yes, you can welcome me. Not welcome me. Yes, you can link me a video that doesn't do the fucking I'm going to screech into the microphone. Fucking don't do that. Don't do that nonsense, you know? It's irksome. It is, quite frankly, rather irksome. Check Discord. Okay. I'm going to watch some memes. Wait, we're in Discord. Here we go. They're in Discord. Dennis Prager becomes Comrade Chorus Secretary of Education. Okay. Hang on.
If every high school principal gave the following speech, a communist, America would be a much better place.
You're on me.
To the students and faculty of our high school, I am
Karl Marx,
the father of Soviet communism.
The only political humor you subscribe to is Ben Shapiro getting dunked on. Can we get some Ben Shapiro in chat? Just Ben Shapiro in chat. That's a dunk enough.
Communism, and honored to be so. There is no greater calling than to kill people for fun. I would like to apprise you.
I'm drinking coffee, dude. For fuck's sake.
Of some important changes coming to our school. First, this school will no longer honor the super rich and big corporations.
Why am I drinking coffee? Because I don't respect my body.
Brown, red, yellow, or white, but if your origins are
capitalists,
we will kill you for fun. This includes after-school clubs. I will not authorize clubs that divide students based on a class inequality. Those clubs cultivate
capitalism,
an unhealthy preoccupation with currency. Third, because I regard
the Tomato Town song,
as
I think,
sacred,
yes.
Everything in this school will
Chilling high with
reflect
your boyfriend, except for the blast of sound. Stream is big vibe.
This means, among other things,
hope you're having a good
that
time.
you and your teachers will dress according to its Chinese Communist dress code. And you will address all teachers by their last name. not by the N-word. They are your teacher pals. Fifth, we will murder the super rich.
Oh, these things
Sixth,
are fucking great.
and last,
I love these videos.
I am reorienting the school toward politics and propaganda.
Oh my
No more
god, I
time
can't
will
take
be
anything
devoted
seriously.
to
now.
Capitalism.
Supporter of the cause.
This school will have failed if any of you graduate without considering him or herself inordinately lucky. Lucky to be alive and lucky to be communist. Now, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country. If you do not know the words, we will kill
By the way, Yara,
you
thank you for
fun.
gifting sub to Mr. Bella. Communism. Communism, Pog. Is that the Soviet anthem? I've forgotten. This video has exactly one dislike. At least one person has found this video and gone, I am not a fan of this. This is making fun of Dennis Prager. And I'm a simp for Dennis Prager. And I don't like it. That was Dennis. Oh, fuck. Oh, yeah, the key badge. The good luck, have fun pledge. That one download was Dennis. Making fun of Daddy Prager. Okay. Filthy capitalist disliked it. How dare they? How honest to goodness dare they? You're not allowed to be if you're a capitalist, you're not allowed to have opinions. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. You're not allowed to have opinions if you're a capitalist. That's against the law. The law of decent people who are not capitalists. Anywho. Let me think for a second. There's a few stories here about things that are going on at the minute. And there's a particularly volatile one, you know, after our little bit of comedy there, after our little bit of buggery.
Welcome
oh my,
back,
okay.
Supporter of the cause.
Alright.
You are now
I'm just
one of
gonna listen to alerts for a while, I suppose. Okie doke. Hi. How many?
You are now one of us.
How many How many have you gifted tonight? Fuck. I'm trying
You
not
are
to
now
swear.
one of us.
That's not helping. Yeah, we're just gonna hear one of us, gooble gobble, one of us. Yeah, I need a thing for the gift subs that just says thank you for X number of
You
subs.
are now one of us.
Oh my god, I can't even read all those names. There's too many. There's too many names. I didn't even know there were that many people who have watched my stream that can get subs in the first place. This is
Welcome
beyond
back,
any of us.
supporter
honestly.
of the
Oh
cause.
yeah, Twitch refunded you 95 sub tokens, so I get subs, I guess. Yeah, okay. Does that mean we can get another
now
hype
one
train
of
going,
us.
or are we only allowed to get one hype train per stream? Or has it got a cooldown? I think it's got a cooldown. I don't know what the cooldown period is. Daily sub goal, 68 out of 5.
You are now one of us.
Wait, is that serious? Have we had 68? Need one more. Oh my god, actually, on the subject. If this is accurate, we're 196.
You are now
Jesus
one
Christ,
of us.
there is a cooldown. Let me actually have a look. Because I do recall there being 50 in just this set. Just this set. And if that number is accurate on the
You
sub
are
goal,
now one of us.
it's 68 this stream alone. And I think some of those may have been resubs, so they don't count towards the sub goal. Channel. I'm trying to see, like, there is a thing
You
for...
are now one of us.
Where's the thing for hype trains? I can't find it. But there are settings for hype trains.
You are now one of us.
Let me see. Stream? Oh my goodness. How long is that going to keep going for? Jesus. How many is it? Where's the
You are now
last
one of
sub?
us.
Queen of Pain. Welcome to the Rogue Group. Hey, let's scroll through this. Okay, so when we see ALX Kujana, that's the last sub and the alert will stop going off.
You are now one of us.
It's maybe halfway down. Oh my god. This was not my intent for coming back tonight, but I mean, I appreciate it. Here
You
I am
are now
thinking,
one of us.
let's celebrate tonight. Let's have a chilled out, hang out, come back to Twitch. You know, welcome everyone back to the Rogue Room. Codeman, welcome in. How you doing?
You are now
And I'm
one
getting
of us.
swarmed with subs. I'll take them. Don't get me wrong, I'll take them. Taiwan official urges people to stop changing their name to Salmon. Dozens of people have changed names, including Gui Yu, to take advantage of
You are
sushi.
now one of us.
Sushi promotion? What? What? What does that mean? What's sushi promotion? You are now one of us. You are now one of us. You are now one of us.
You are now one of us.
You are now one of us. You are now one of us. I have. How to set up multiple gift sub alerts on Streamlabs. There we go. Thank you for the
are now one of us.
LMGTFY. On Streamlabs. Yeah, I know how to. It's very facetious, this fucking website.
You are now
yeah,
one
I don't
of
have
us.
2 microphones, so I can't do that. How to set up a multiple gift sub alert. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, there is that, isn't there?
You are
Production
now one of
value.
us.
Not that I have much of that. Alert box. Is it just alert box variations, or is it just for like specific alerts? Open alert variations.
Welcome
Add a variation
back,
with default
supporter
settings.
of the cause.
Okay, here we go. I found it. Here you go. I do need to zoom in with black and white. I used to have one. I got rid of
Welcome
it for
back,
reasons unbeknownst to me.
supporter of the cause.
Oh my goodness. Is that a regular sub, Kibi, or is that a gift sub? I can't tell anymore. I completely cannot tell anymore. Okay, so there is a thing in here.
You are now one of us.
User is gifted at least X amount of subs at once. There we go. I'll have to set that up, or we're going to be stuck with this for the rest of the stream, honestly.
You are now one of us.
Under the 2-day promotion, which ended on Thursday. So hang on, what did I miss? A Taiwanese official has pleaded with people to stop changing their name to Salmon after dozens made the unusual move to take advantage of a restaurant promotion. In a phenomenon that has been
You
called
are now
Salmon
one of
Chaos
us.
by local media, about 150 mostly young people visited government offices in recent days to officially change their name. The cause of this sudden enthusiasm was a chain of sushi restaurants. Under the 2-day promotion, which ended on Thursday, any
You are
customer
now
whose
one of
ID
us.
card contained guiyu, a Chinese characters for salmon, would be entitled to an all-you-can-eat sushi meal along with 5 friends. Taiwan allows people to officially change their name up to 3 times. That is ridiculous.
You are now one of us.
Hello, Muka. How you doing? How's it hanging? That is ridiculous. I want a free all-you-can-eat sushi meal. I'm gonna change my name to Salmon.
You are now one
Go
of
over to
us.
Taiwan. Think you can mute the alerts? Yeah, let's turn the overlay off for a bit. Let's just turn that off for a bit until it figures itself out. It's just going to keep going otherwise. New couch and TV. That's good. Glad to hear it. Are they good ones? Are they good ones? Okay. I mean, we could do. I'm the real fish. I'm really fishy. I'm very, very fishy. Do we want to talk about a shooting? Probably not. Honestly, but I was, it is a pretty important big news story that's just cropped up today. You may have heard about it already. Yes, I did get in trouble, Mukau. I was suspended last week, literally a week ago. It took them a week, 7 days, to get me back on Twitch. They suspended my account for the bitch part of my username, so I'm now just RogueBX. For the time being, but I do have plans to change it in 60 days' time when because they used my rename. So you can rename yourself once on Twitch, and then, or not once, but you can rename yourself, and then there's a 60-day period before you can do it again. And because of, excuse me, let me think. Because of, oh my god, is that chat box even working? By the way, I just realized this. No, it's not. Why is that even there? They suspended me for the rogue bitch username. Let me fix my my chat box. I didn't even realize that wasn't working. That's been sitting there the whole time with none of you there. Yeah, they suspended it with no option for me to change it when it happened. So I was just, out of an account for a week, basically. Not nice. Not very nice of them, but, I guess I get it. And, It took them a week to restore my... Not that one. Where is it? Where's the chat? Where's the chat? I can't believe I've messed that up. There we go. Now you should be able to chat. There we go. I'm a dingbat. Goodness gracious me, I'm such a dingbat. Okay, we're back in business. Can I turn my overlay back on now, or is it still going to be setting alerts off? I think it may have stopped. I think we may have stopped it. Anyway. Cunts in Australia. CIA. Oh my god, I'm trying not to swear so much. I've got to stop swearing so much. I didn't expect a gift sub. Came to support my return after finding out what happened. Not because religious types, although it was very convenient. Here's an interesting little side note. As we got suspended, my account, no, not my account, someone came into chat and started asking questions about religion. Someone called, like, Witness of Christ or something, Witnesser of Christ or something like that, Witnesser of Jesus, I don't recall. And they came in, and, yes, there we go. They came in and they asked me about religion. They asked me about what my thoughts were on religion. I was about to get into it. I was about to discuss here my thoughts on Catholicism and all this kind of nonsense. And moments after they showed up and followed, all of a sudden my account is suspended indefinitely. They weren't being hostile, this person. But it's very, very weird the way that played out. I hadn't even begun to discuss the topic. But like I said before, I did put up a video about the... I did put up a video a little while back about the Super Straights thing. And I had got quite extensively brigaded on that YouTube video that I made on the Super Straights thing, unsurprisingly. And I thought they had just, after I turned the comments and the like-dislike ratio off, I thought that it's more than likely they went and tracked down my social media everywhere else, my Twitter, and eventually found their way back to my Twitch account and started mass reporting.
You are now one of us.
Here. Thank you, anonymous subgifter, for bringing us up to 69 subs. Nice. Today. So, yeah, that's my suspicion. You know. Oh, okay, sorry. Sorry, Logan. Just try not to say super straight, because the bot just gets edgy about it. You're okay. I do agree, it is, the super straight thing is so obviously not by 4chan, it is best ignored. It's not, it's the bot being a bit of a dipshit. I just wanted to stop people saying super straight, because every time they were doing it, they were coming in here. It's like, I'm super straight, this is my stance on the world. Dingbats. Lobotomites. But if you are here to ask about the, you know, that thing, it's dumb. Sorry that my bot caught you like that. I realize you were not ill-intended there. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Mookow. There are fuck knuckles that support neo-Nazis that have channels here on Twitch. It is kind of baffling. And this is something I'm interested in doing a panel on. Not specifically this. This is just like 1984. This is not something I am specifically thinking about immediately, but I did tweet this. Queer panel soon, who's interested? Which, you know, we'll come back and we'll check on this soonish. I had the idea of, let's get a panel of queer streamers together and talk about queer issues and how, you know, the kinds of things we face online as creators and things like that, and whatever else comes up. Queer related subjects, especially everything that's going on in the UK, which is rather frightening. I could have an ace person on, absolutely. What if you want to talk about the precision of your rulers? Well, you can.
Another round.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, right. Thank you for the 150 bits. If Jordan wants to hop on, Jordan can hop on as well. Anyone who I've had at least some network with, anyone who's had at least some level of connection with me is allowed to come on. Although I would be interested to have new faces on, of course. But it'd probably be like a first come, first served, and, you know, am I familiar with this person in some capacity? To have, you know, a big Discord call or whatever it is that people do, maybe a Zoom call. I don't know how you do this. How they have like a bunch of screens up all at once. Because I've seen that happen in Discord. Yeah, Jordan's streams are off the chain. I don't know how she keeps up with it. Super Trouble, thank you for the welcome back. Your stream you'd offer to join would also need a mic though. Yeah, that would help. Sounds like a topic for Transvengers. Could be. Whenever those dumb fucks post their super straight bullshit, you always go, oh, you should stuff. The UK. What's up in the UK? A lot. There's a lot. Actually, there's an article, there's an opinion piece, take this with a grain of salt, on Pink News. Bethany Black for UK trans issue? Okay, so, this is an opinion based on what's going on in the UK. On pinknews.co.uk, which is a good website. Trans people in the UK are being crushed by relentless attacks from extremists. Where are our allies? Freddie McConnell is a journalist, dad, and trans man. He just lost a series of legal challenges in the UK to be recorded as the father or parent on his child's birth certificate, and is now taking the case to the European Court of Human Rights. If you have the slightest interest in LGBT plus equality, you know that attempts to further the rights of transgender people, primarily by simplifying gender recognition, have been rejected by this government. Since this became clear, things have gone rather quiet, and you would be forgiven for thinking progress on trans equality had stalled. Maybe trans people are taking a breather. Heaven knows we need it. Excuse me. Yeah, I think Jordan's definitely got some like transhumanism thing going on. Like the stream deck is just literally augmented into her arm at this point. And another one, there's multiple. Exhausted as we may be, however, we all need to sit up and realize that stalled is inaccurate. Nothing about this period of time is neutral. On the contrary, anti-trans groups have ramped up their curiously well-funded efforts. The difference now is that they're doing it quietly and subtly, i.e. in the bathrooms and corridors of power. They have the ears of ministers and peers, and in some cases, they are those people. Moreover, having swept Gender Recognition Act, GRA reform off the table, they are now shifting into an attack position. In other words, trans equality has not gone from progress to standing still. Under this parliament and the watch of our current so-called equality ministers, the UK has lurched from progress to a measurable loss of rights for trans people both young and old. If our allies in government and media do not become more vigilant and proactive as a matter of emergency, trans people, friends, colleagues, classmates, siblings, children and parents will be legislated out of public existence without the majority even noticing. Now, obviously, as a transgender person living in Australia who's got it pretty good at the moment, I got onto my HRT with minimal issue. I was able to change my name legally with minimal issue. Chances are, if I had the money, I could probably approach a surgeon about getting my gender confirmation surgery done with minimal issue. There's really not a whole lot there, and most of the time, like, I haven't really had any experience with transphobic people in public. You know, if I am dressed a certain way or what have you from wearing makeup out in public or whatever. You know, I don't have too many problems as a trans person in Australia, and that's very good. However, when we see anti-trans movement, when we see regressivist movement in other nations like the UK, and now it's starting to ramp up a little bit in the United States, I worry that that could bleed over to Australia, which is under a conservative government right now. And I fear we may end up seeing something along the lines of, you know, the attack on trans kids in sports is always one of those points that that gains a bit of early momentum. You know, people really want to protect the integrity of women's sports and all this kind of thing. So I fear that's going to potentially become one of the... I mean, if this sort of stuff does come to Australia, if this turfy stuff really does start to populate in Australia, I'm honestly worried that, you know, it's going to start with something fairly accessible, you know? These biological males are invading women's sports. It's simply not happening as well. We're mixing sport. Would you object if you mentioned your situation to any of them? Hang on, come back. You watch one of their streamers pretty regularly. Oh, you mean Transvengers? Is that what you mean? You can mention to him if you like. I think you Aussie should help us limeys out and repatriate Jermaine Greer. I've forgotten about her. We watched a video with her back before I got suspended. Especially since the Aussie conservatives are obsessed with emulating UK politics and US politics to some extent. Exactly. It's worrisome. It's very, very worrisome. Be happy for her to be settled somewhere between Oz and the UK, maybe a boat in the middle of the Atlantic. Glenna had to admit to the House of Lords that his wife left him due to his hate campaign for trans people. I know. I noticed that. Thank you for the hydration, by the way. Excuse me. What was I going to say? I do distinctly recall the Glinner situation where he protested before the House of Lords. Do we have video of that? Is there like a synopsis video of that we can watch? Please tell me someone has a video that goes into Glinner's little House of Lords scenario, because I really want to see it. I've not seen any of the footage of Glinner not protesting, making his case before the House of Lords. It sounds absolutely pathetic. Yeah, there's audio. Let's listen to audio. If there's, is there like a cut together thing where we can just get the best bits? Because like, I don't think I want to listen to the whole thing. It probably goes for ages, right? Like, how long does it go? How long does it go for? There was a motion about pronouns. What do you mean, Raptor? What pronouns motion was there? I'd like to see that, because that's worrying too. It's on YouTube. Okay. Let's have a look here. House of Lords. Graham Lennon whines about his Twitter bound to the House of Lords. Well, there's a Pink News article about this. Is there a video connected to it, though? A motion to reject neutral pronouns. How stupid. Federal Senate passes motion opposing gender-neutral language. This was yesterday. This was yesterday. Are you fucking serious? Okay, I'm just not gonna bother pretending like I can't swear. I'm sorry. The stream is rated 18+ for a fucking reason. The Australian Senate has passed a motion opposing gender-neutral language. The motion was put forward in the upper house by Senator Malcolm Roberts from Pauline Hanson's One Nation. I'm just gonna turn off auto mod. Fucking Christ. Auto mod is such a chore. I'm gonna turn it off. Hang on a second. Auto mod, stop being a douchebag, please. Please. You're annoying me. Oh my god, there's so much more now. Have they updated this? Auto mod. A little moderation. Auto mod is off. I'm gonna turn auto mod off, so just behave yourselves. Don't say the N-word in my chat, basically. It's sorry to be... I did not hear about this. I had not heard about this. I need to find more news sources, honestly, Raptor. I did not know about this at all. The motion called on the Senate to note that the inclusion cannot be achieved through distortion of biological and relational descriptors, and called on the Morrison government to reject a series of words including chest feeding, menstruators, and non-birthing parent. Now, we had a discussion around chest feeding. Chest feeding is a bit fucking stupid as a term, I think, personally. But menstruators should be allowed because trans men menstruate. And non-birthing parent... What's wrong with that? I don't see what's the issue here? What's the issue with these people? Rena. Not to be confused with chest bursters, no. Oh no, I can't fit the whole poll in! Hang on, the motion passed, of course it did. What's wrong with these people, man? Okay. Here we go. Let me just do this. There we go. There's a poll for you. No, I don't want to get rid of that. I just literally copy-pasted the, I copy-pasted the poll text into my news thing. If a dog wore pants, would they wear them on the back half or the lower half? I'm gonna go the back half. Anyway. I'll fit the whole poll in. Hi, Detroit. How you doing? Best feeder sounds like a slur and it does a bit. Is working. The text box is working, right? Over here? It looks like it's working. Okay. Alright. This is the shit I like. Okay. Let's come back to what we were saying. But yeah, this is exactly what I'm worried about, you know, just making little incremental political microaggressions. I went to say microtransactions. Political microaggressions that eventually phase trans people out of existence. And what do they think is going to happen? Can I ask you that? What do you think is going to happen if they eventually get rid of all the trans people? Do you think they're going to stop at trans people? Like, it's a literal genocide, first and foremost. Can I bring up a friend of mine, Solace, who did this video. Where is this video that I watched? Purity and Atrocity. It's a 25-minute video. It's quite fantastic, and it speaks about... I'll put this in chat if you want to watch this. I'm going to recommend Solace, who go subscribe to their channel, JS Solace. They do video essays. And they talk, I think primarily, if I recall correctly, it's about genocide, mostly, and the stages of genocide. And it's not just like they go immediately to rounding everybody up and putting them in concentration camps and putting them in gas chambers. That's not how it goes. It's a slow and steady process, including things like exclusion, for example, and ostracism, you know. And if they keep going down this route, this is, quite frankly, the beginnings of genocide. This is what they are doing. They are committing genocide on transgender people by legislating against them in incremental ways and making it incredibly difficult in the UK, for example, to even get an appointment. I went to say an achievement. I'm stuck in gamer mode because I played BioShock last night. They keep... I don't know if I put a stream marker in, so I'm going to do it now. But yeah, like... they start with stuff like ostracism. They start with stuff by, you know, spreading fear around the idea of a person. And then they start legislating against those people and saying, well, these people aren't allowed to exist. And then they start saying, you know, you get to the point where it's that bad. They start treating these people that badly and spreading such a negative idea of these people that severely that we end up with situations like, we end up with situations like, what's the fucking place called in America? Guantanamo Bay? Yeah. You end up with places where, fear and othering first. And then, over time, they start taking away the rights of these people. They start taking away the privileges of these people. They start taking away their identity. By the way, Sixhead, welcome to the program. I don't know when you followed. 3 minutes ago, welcome in. They start taking away their rights and they start legislating against these people. How long is it going to take the UK to get to a point where they're satisfied that they've stripped away all the rights of trans people? There we go, 10 stages of genocide. Thank you, NBSP. How long is it going to take before they get to the point where, like, okay, we've satisfactorily decimated transgender people. Now we're going to start by taking away the option for gay people to get married. Now we're going to say, oh, okay, well, no longer will we legally recognize gay marriage. All previous gay marriages that you've had are now null and void in the eyes of the law. Blah, blah, blah. How long are they going to just keep going back? They're going to keep repealing all these queer rights that people have fought for years and years and years and years and years. The more important question is how to win. Very good question. Literally how the Holocaust started in Germany. Can we please all agree not to do that again? See, I will say, Gina Carano did have a point, but it wasn't a good point with regards to conservatives. Who are the people doing this shit in the first place? Back on Twitch, Anita, yes. I didn't take a break, I got suspended. I got suspended a week ago, and we're back now. We're all good. Got unsuspended, and we got our name fixed to one that's less offensive. But this is a good little quick overview of, forced vacation, which I didn't even really take much of a vacation. I tried streaming on YouTube instead, which was okay. Wasn't as good as being on Twitch. How do we win? Okay, so let's see. Someone reported my account because my username was Rogue Bitch, but the I was an X, and someone thought that was good enough to have me indefinitely suspended for. But luckily, we pestered them all over Twitter. We had a petition up, and it was all good. Yara, thank you for gifting a sub. Jeff, how you doing? Well, let's talk about, very quickly, the 10 stages of genocide, which, again, if you watch Solace's video, ignore the slash there in the end, which was Purity and, what's it called? Purity and Atrocity. And I wouldn't mind showing the video off, it's quite fantastic. If you watch Purity and Atrocity, it goes into the 10 stages of genocide, but just to sum up, you start with classification. People are divided into them and us. Symbolization. When combined with hatred, symbols may be forced upon unwilling members of pariah groups. Discrimination. Law or cultural power excludes groups from full civil rights. Segregation or apartheid laws. Denial of voting rights. Dehumanization. One group denies the humanity of the other group. Members of it are equated with animals, vermin, insects, or diseases. And a good example here with regards to trans people is they're trying to make us out like we're pedophiles now. which is, you know, in itself a group that is dehumanized, but for different reasons, I suppose, in this circumstance. But I've noticed, you know, there's a lot of the dehumanization with regards to trans people comes from the idea of turning them into a sexual predator, turning trans people into a sexual predator in the eyes of the public, which is, yeah, its own method of dehumanization. Organization. Genocide is always organized. Special army units or militias are often trained and armed. Polarization. Hate groups broadcast polarizing propaganda. Literally, Graham Lennon's entire blog. Preparation. Mass killing is planned. Victims are identified and separated out because of their ethnic or religious identity, in this case, queer identity. Persecution. Expropriation. Forced displacement. Ghettos. Concentration camps. Extermination. It is extermination to the killers because they do not believe their victims to be fully human. Denial. The perpetrators deny they committed any crimes. Now, there are preventative measures over here. You love the lipstick? Thank you. It's a chocolate color. I quite like it. The pedo one is very old. It is. It's been around. The pedo argument keeps getting brought up. The sexual predator argument keeps getting brought up. Been suspended before, so you get it. It can be annoying. It is. It is very annoying. The Holocaust was only a falsification. Not relevant at all, but a little comic relief to help us through. Thought you found a little bit of papadum on your desk. Nearly ate it. 40 grit sandpaper. Why would you just eat a random thing that you thought was papadum? Why would you do that? They used it for gay men in the 80s, they did. And just generally speaking, the AIDS panic. The fear that AIDS was just so prevalent among gay people that if you even shook hands with a gay man, you know. Anyway, that what your health nuts call roughage? Yeah, I eat 40 grit sandpaper all the time. Helps you get your bowel movement going. Anywho, hello Nouveau, how you doing? Alright, so for classification, preventative measure, at this early stages to develop universalistic, that's a word, institutions that transcend divisions. Symbolization, to combat symbolization, hate symbols can be legally forbidden as hate speech, as can hate speech, which is good. This is the problem when we come to the idea of outlawing hate speech and symbolization. Often you'll find neo-Nazis will start to say, well, if they take away these symbols, if they illegalize these symbols, if they illegalize these words, I'm saying they're restricting free speech, and that's fascism. And this is the problem with using the phrase fascism. There are PSAs about that shit. Yeah, there are. Hello, Glitchcraft. How are you doing? I am back. I'm glad to be back. I'm happy to be where I belong. Back home. You also forgot to eat today. Aubergine, I'm jealous. I wish I could forget to eat. I'm honest, I do. I wish I could forget to eat. Yes, I gotta stay. I gotta behave myself. Voice acting tip. Eat sandpaper. I don't need to eat sandpaper to sound like a pack-a-day smoker, honestly. It's not that hard. Hello. When I was younger, I used to smoke a pack of Winfield Blues 3 times a day. Now my voice box is completely fine. I'm just doing this for the lols. I've never actually smoked a cigarette properly. There's a fun fact. There's a fun little rogue fact. I've never actually smoked a cigarette properly. Black Cat!
Please enjoy all the delights of the subscriber
I gotta do
lounge.
something with subs, man. I gotta do something. I don't like this anymore. This is just kind of meh. This is lackluster. Anyway. Black Cat, thank you for the tier 1. Thank you so kindly. Legend. This is an actual daily sub goal count, by the way. Yarrow!
You are now one
okay,
of
we're
us.
just gonna do that now, are we? Okay. Thank you, Black Cat. For gifting subs to Anita, Moocow, Glacial Mid,
You are now
Blackmail,
one of
and
us.
P-Goose. I do need I've never smoked a cigarette properly, yes. I've never actually gotten into that absolutely debaucherous act.
You are now one of us.
I have considered it, though, don't get me wrong. But I have been in situations where I've smoked cigarettes, and I just didn't. Is smoking bad or good? Oh, okay.
You are
Yeah, why
now
not?
one of us.
Also, Fox, there you go. And we'll check out posture a little bit. Okay, alright, let's do it. Let's see what you say. Let's see what you have to say. I feel like I know what the response is going to be.
You are now one of us.
It's a pretty obvious one. Oh, I forgot you can add extra votes with bits. I forgot. I added that option and I forgot to turn it off, so I guess you can do that. You ever Googled something and regretted it? You were curious what happens on a farm. Google, why do cows not have horns? Regretted Googling. Oh, no. I'm not going to Google it. I'm not going to Google it. No. No. I'm not going to do that. Used to smoke 2.5 packs a day. How do you afford it? Is what I want to know. It's like packs of cigarettes are freaking expensive. They are very expensive. They cost a lot of money. I'm reminded of that video by Chubby Emu, where he's talking about the guy who was drinking 50 beers a day, and I'm like, how does he have the money for that? The guy that he's talking about, Chubby Emu, didn't drink 50 beers a day. No, I just didn't inhale properly. Getting lung cancer is unaffordable now. I mean, I suppose that's good. Spend the money on estrogen now. That's a much better choice, quite frankly. I'll take the potential liver failure over the potential lung cancer, quite frankly. And no comment. Okay. Let's come back to this. While you folks decide if smoking is bad or good. Hey, one person voted good. Who the heck? All right. So dehumanization. Hang on. No, discrimination. Sorry. Pass and enforce laws prohibiting discrimination. Full citizenship and voting rights for all groups. Preventative measures for dehumanization. Local and international leaders should condemn the use of hate speech and make it culturally unacceptable. Leaders who incite genocide should be banned from international travel and have their foreign finances frozen. Smoking bad. Who'da thunk it? The UN should impose arms embargoes on governments and citizens of countries involved in genocidal massacres and create commissions to investigate violations. Preventative measures may secure protection. Prevention may mean security protection. How did I read that so wrong? For moderate leaders or assistance to human rights groups. Coup d'etat by extremists should be opposed by international sanctions. At this stage, a genocide emergency must be declared. Full diplomatic pressure by regional organizations must be invoked, including preparation to prevent... Oh my god, including preparation to intervene to prevent genocide. Direct assistance to victim groups, targeted sanctions against persecutors, mobilization of humanitarian assistance or intervention, protection of refugees. Extermination. At this stage, only rapid and overwhelming armed intervention can stop genocide. Real safe areas or refugee escape corridors should be established with heavily armed international protection. And denial. The response to denial is punishment by an international tribunal or national courts. So there we have, quite frankly, the fear that I personally have about the entire trans situation on a worldwide scale. Smoked up to like a pack a day, you think? Back when you were $11 for the cheapos, starting when you were 15, managed to quit when you got ADHD meds. Turns out you needed stimulants. There you go. Sober now, so that's great. Your grandmother used to drink at least 30 a day. Oh my god. I'm just baffled by it. The thing that gets me the most is the financial investment. The amount of money needed. It's just baffling. Truly baffling. Alright. If we could survive without breathing, we would age slowly and live longer. There you go. Breathing damages your body and a major reason why we age. You know, every person who's ever drank water has died. Every single person in recorded history who has drank water has died. Statistically speaking, we shouldn't drink this shit. I'm just saying. Remember when rolling backy was less than a 10 and now it's closer to 20 per pack? Which is a good thing. You know, the gradual phasing out of tobacco and cigarettes in general is a good thing. Because we know all of the tremendous detrimental effects. Oh no, I know you're not memeing. I know you're not memeing. Alright, so. Shall we come back to... Every person who's ever died has had an oxygen addiction. Facts. Alright, let's come back to this. Wait. We got up to this bit here. So, British anti-trans extremists are gaining momentum. Do you like the way I say extremists or extremists? Pick one. A slew of recent low-key wins by anti-trans activists should be ringing alarm bells across the UK that anti-trans extremists are not only winning but gaining momentum. They have set the tone, fear and concern, and the framework, trans rights versus women's rights, and are dominating the legislative and policy agenda in the face of minimal or zero resistance. I'm curious, has Pauline Hanson said anything about trans rights? About trans people? Why do I get the suspicion she's a TERF? Anyway. First, why is there no resistance? Why are anti-trans groups having a field day attacking trans people on the political left, right, and centre? Newsflash, trans people have no power. We rarely even have a platform, and when we do, it's usually a specialist or marginal one. In one sense, it really is that simple. No one hears from us, no one gets us, so no one cares, besides those who care the absolute most about erasing us. Outnumbered, outgunned, and emotionally traumatized by years of trial by media, we can hardly muster the energy to observe our own dehumanization and erasure, let alone fight it. On the subject, I'm kind of glad that I don't know what it is Abigail Thorne is doing in the UK, but putting her video out and putting her statement out about the state of things in the UK. And I think Elliot Page also, he spoke out about what's going on in the UK with this trans rights debacle. So there are some powerful voices speaking out on the issues in the UK right now. And I wish to be one of those. I want to keep bringing this up. I want to keep making people aware of this because, again, and this is a self-preservation thing, quite frankly. At the end of the day, I am Katie Montgomery. Yes, I think I follow her on Twitter. This does ultimately, especially as a transgender person, this does become a matter of self-preservation. I look at shit like this and I say to myself, this could so easily spread to Australia, especially given what we mentioned before about how Aussie conservatives tend to just mimic what other countries do because that's the easiest option. That's just the easiest option, you know? Because being conservative is a fucking piss take, honestly. You don't have to have any stance, you just have to pick a minority and nitpick at them. Anyway, that's all conservatism is. Second, allies who do hold power have in recent years lost any and all incentive to speak out, who would risk so much as being seen to argue against women's rights. So, yeah, see, this is the major problem here, right? Who has time to debunk such widespread and complex misinformation passed off as women's concern, especially when women genuinely do have so much to be concerned about? What is the prize besides the feeble gratitude of a pariah minority? Good lord. I shouldn't read chat. Anyway, Paul. Okay. I don't even. Okay. Goodness me. NBSP. I mean the link you've just given us. Oh, we'll take a look at that in a second. The chilling effect anti-trans rhetoric has had on allies has been devastating. A ruthless attack on the freedom to express basic human compassion and empathy. All right. Pauline Hanson. Yes, I think I recall this. I think I distinctly recall this. I had a suspicion. One Nation leader Pauline Hanson has suggested supportive parents who believe their child may be transgender should have their children taken off them in a new transphobic rant. The federal senator made the shocking claim during Conservative YouTube program Pillow Talk this week. The program's panel was discussing the Queensland government's passing of a bill to outlaw harmful sexuality and gender conversion therapy in the state. I remember doing a bit about this. We talked about this. I'm sure I did. I'm almost certain I talked about this. I can't recall. I feel like I discussed this. Maybe it was something else. This picture here, I distinctly remember reacting to a video of her in this exact scene. It might have been a different topic, but this does sound very familiar. Good seeing your face again. Thank you, Detroit. Must start your day now. Have a good one, Detroit. And Epolite. YouTube wasn't bad. This is better. This is better. Thank you for welcoming me back. I think she has only one dress. The federal senator made the... Oh, we read that bit. Pauline Hanson, who's from Queensland, said she doesn't support the legislation and wants it repealed. Hanson said young people should be prevented from accessing counselling on gender identity before the age of 18. That's genocide. That is genocide. That's killing trans children, for the record. Are we clear on this one? Are we clear on the fact? Do we have to clarify? Again, let's hammer in the point. Puberty blockers, right, for example. Puberty blockers, which are probably the primary treatment that any sort of transgender child is going to be on. Okay, they're not going to get on any other kind of hormone treatment in their teens. They're going to get on puberty blockers, which are entirely a reversible option. Okay, entirely a reversible option. So for Hansen to say young people should be prevented from accessing counseling on gender identity before the age of 18, she is denying those trans people the right to begin their transition.
Room appreciates
Ms.
your
Danville.
recommendation.
Thank you for the host. This is the side of freedom, I know. This is disgusting. This is the side of disgusting. That's what this is. She claimed children were transitioning after simply playing with dolls and accused parents of brainwashing children as a form of sex selection. Your girl never played with dolls as a kid. I played with Lego. I played video games. I liked Bionicles. I didn't wear dresses. I didn't wear wigs. I didn't do any of that shit. There was no point. It took until I was, in my preteens and early teens before I started actually unpacking my gender thoughts, my gender identity thoughts. It's not about playing with dolls. There's so much more. Not about playing with dolls. This is a stupid argument. This is a nonsense argument. Also, parents brainwashing children. Most of these kids, they gain this acceptance of themselves by, with any luck, fingers crossed, having accepting parents who allow them to see the full spectrum of society and allow them to inform their own decisions. And if the child comes to the parent and says, look, I feel like I'm not a boy or I'm not a girl, then if the parents are responsive to that, if the parents are welcoming to that idea, then that's just good supportive parenting. And there's a video that's on the honestly on the same subject here. When you were you hate people like that. You were a trans teenager, and the anxiety before meds was very hard on your mind. People do need to be more open about that, absolutely. Also played with Lego. You weren't allowed to play with dolls. Well, that's a ripoff. I never played with them just because I wasn't interested in them. But quite frankly, I guess you could argue I played with virtual dolls in the sense of The Sims. I played The Sims. I quite liked playing dress up in The Sims. Anyway. Confusing kids and going to the doctor and parents saying, look, my 4-year-old, they really can't identify and we want to change their sex. She said, this is completely ludicrous. We want to change their sex. You are bloody idiots. How can a kid at 4 years old know if they want to be male or if they actually want to be a girl? There's more to this, and these parents need their heads read. Or the kid's taken off them. They want to change their sex because the kid gone and played with a doll. There are cases. There are definitely cases. I am back, Vagabond. Welcome. How are you doing? There are cases of kids who are very young, who are discovering their gender identity when they're a lot younger. And that's entirely legitimate. Kids can know. Kids can have concepts of their own identity. They can come to the parents. There are numerous cases, in fact, that keep coming up. We keep hearing about these fucking things. We keep hearing about these cases of young children coming to their parents and saying, I don't feel like a boy, I feel like a girl, or vice versa. And you know what? They're not prescribing medication to 4-year-olds. They're not changing the sex of 4-year-olds. They're not doing any of this shit. If those parents decide, well, our child that we thought was a son feels more like a girl, feels more like a daughter, then we will let them dress however they want and let them play however they want. But they're not going to get prescribed hormones. They're not going to get sex reassignment surgery. None of this shit is happening. They just make this up so they have an argument against trans people and an argument against supportive parents of trans people, because they know they don't have any actual legitimate stance here. Ridiculous. Pauline Hanson calls transgender issues rubbish and refuses to learn. Pauline Hanson can get in the fucking bin. Let's come back to trans people in the UK. This is a long segment. I'm worried that we might not be able to turn this into a video because it goes for so long. Came to your parents with, am I a boy or a girl? When you were a child? Maybe that was a good sign, yeah. How long had I been using Rogue Bitch? About 6 months. From about September onwards. If I go to my Twitch tracker page, which should actually have my stats on it now that I'm back. Oh, it's not listed there anymore because it's Rogue BXTCH. Rogue BX. Let's see if this comes up. Here we go. Streams. I came back on September 2nd, was when I rebranded to Rogue Bitch. September 7th, sorry. Is that what that says? September 7th? I think it was... No, September 2nd. Yeah, September 2nd. And that was after about a 5-week break. I came back on September 2nd and was Rogue Bitch. So I've had it September, October, November, December, January, February, March, and then it's been 7 months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just over 6 months, really, realistically speaking, of having that username. And then Twitch decided in their infinite wisdom to ban the account. Which, you know, we're back now, and they've changed it. And I don't mind Rogue BX, but I do have a plan to change it once the 60 days is up. I have a name that I want to change it to. Anyway, there's only good knowledge and one evil, ignorance. Absolutely true. Your child turns out to be gay or trans or non-binary. You did not fail as a parent. If you turned your back on them for it, you have failed as a parent. Absolutely. There is no reason. If you as a parent are ignoring your child's gender identity or their sexuality because of some arbitrary religious reason or political reason, or because of some straw man, because you believe that transgender people are Buffalo Bill from The Silence of the Lambs or any of this kind of nonsense, that is your failing as a parent and your refusal to educate yourself. You cannot sufficiently say you are an educated adult. If you are going to look at your child coming to you and saying, my gender doesn't feel correct, or if your young boy comes to you and says, look, I like other boys, and you have just this outright refusal from the get-go, and you deny your child their reality, their truth, you are a failure as a parent. That's simply how it is. I cannot overstate this. This is a failing of parenthood. Alright? And I am very fortunate to have had such accepting parents. I mean, my mother primarily, when my sister helped me come out to my dad, he was just literally like, oh yeah, your half-sister, Tony, my half-sister Tony, which was like, oh yeah, Tony was telling me you're going by Abby on social media now and all that. Like, pretty good. He just didn't have any... He didn't have any real input. He was just like, yeah, okay, cool. And like, I guess I accept the acceptance. He's cool with it. He just doesn't really care either way. And quite frankly, I would much prefer a parent who's indifferent. Actually, we read the satire article, the piss take article recently on, was it The Onion? I think it was The Onion. It's like, trans woman desperately wants someone to just be indifferent to them. And that's literally how my dad reacted. He was just like, okay, you're Abby now, whatever, who cares? Let's go to the zoo. Let's go get some lunch. And whereas my mother has been very, very accepting, around Christmas time, she bought me a gorgeous necklace. You might have seen me wearing my little amethyst necklace. I'm not wearing it now, obviously, but... You know, that to me was it was the hard times. There we go. It was the hard times. She bought me that necklace, and it was such a huge boon to me as a person. It said to me that my mother, you know, looked at something that is honestly very stereotypically feminine, yes. But she looked at that and she said, Abby would like this. And that was that moment of like, oh my God, my mother accepts me. My mother sees me for who I am. And not every child gets that. Not every child, not every trans kid gets that. Not every trans kid gets that opportunity. And it's quite frankly really, really upsetting to hear about it. And if you do not, if you're a prospective parent, and I have heard people who want to have kids say this kind of shit. I've heard people my age and younger who want to have kids one day say, if my kid turns out to be gay, I'll beat them until they're straight. Like, they'll say that kind of shit. If you are the kind of person who cannot fathom your child being who they are, then you should not have a child. You should not have any children. So what's this first link you've sent me, MB? Oh yeah, this one. Let's watch this. Well, hopefully it doesn't get copyrighted. We'll see how we go. Fingers crossed, because the ABC copyrighted the Brittany Higgins thing. Okay, so I've seen this already, but let's play it for everybody else who hasn't seen it already. Brandon Bulwer. Talking about the I think this was about the bill for trans kids in school to play sports. All right, so we're going to watch this.
My daughter did not choose to be a girl. She's been a girl from day one. God made her that way. And the God I believe in does not make mistakes. Those kids who have fear teased her. They embraced her.
I've seen the full video of this. Is this just like a... No, this is another one. Hang on. I've seen the full actual testimony from the dad. Let's get that one out. Here we go. I think this is the one. Let me see here. This is the one that I've seen. Let's watch the full video from Brandon Boulware himself. Well, not from the ACLU.
My name is Brandon Boulware, and Chairman, I'll go as quickly as I can. I'm a lifelong Missourian. I'm a business lawyer. I'm a Christian. I'm the son of a Methodist minister. I'm a husband. I'm the father of 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls, including a wonderful and beautiful transgender daughter, who today happens to be her birthday. And I chose to be here. She doesn't know that. She thinks I'm at work. One
Hello,
thing I
Winter.
often hear when transgender issues are discussed is, I don't get it. I don't understand. And I would expect some of you to have said that and feel the same way. I didn't get it either. For years, I didn't get it. For years, I would not let my daughter wear girl clothes. I did not let her play with girl toys. I forced my daughter to wear boy clothes and get short haircuts, play on boy sports teams. Why did I do this? To protect my child. I did not want my daughter or her siblings to get teased. And truth be told, I did it to protect myself as well. I wanted to avoid those inevitable questions as to why my child did not look and act like a boy. My child was miserable. I cannot overstate that. She was absolutely miserable, especially at school. No confidence, no friends, no laughter. I honestly say this, I had a child who did not smile. We did that for years. We did that against the advice of teachers, therapists, and other experts. I remember the day everything changed for me. I'd gotten home from work, and my daughter and her brother were in the front lawn. And my daughter had sneaked on one of her older sister's play dresses. And they wanted to go across the street and play with the neighbor's kids. It was time for dinner. I said, come in. She asked, can she go across the street? I said, no. She asked me if she went inside and put on boy clothes, could she then go across the street and play? And it's then that it hit me that my daughter was equating being good with being someone else. I was teaching her to deny who she is. As a parent, the one thing we cannot do, the one thing, is silence our child's spirit. And so on that day, my wife and I stopped silencing our child's spirit. The moment we allowed my daughter to be who she is, to grow her hair, to wear the clothes she wanted to wear, she was a different child. And I mean, it was immediate.
Yeah,
it was a total transformation. I now have a confident, a smiling, a happy daughter. She plays on a girls' volleyball team. She has friendships. She's a kid. I came here today as a parent to share my story. I need you to understand that this language, if it becomes law, will have real effects on real people. It will affect my daughter. It will mean she cannot play on the girls' volleyball team or dance squad or tennis team. I ask you, please don't take that away from my daughter or the countless others like her who are out there. Let them have their childhoods. Let them be who they are. I ask you to vote against this legislation.
There we go. There we have it. What do we think? The TERFs are claiming the video shows this guy forced his daughter to act as a girl while she wouldn't get made off for being an effeminate boy. Yeah, exactly. Ridiculous. It's sad, but it's also very heartwarming to see this guy who was so adamant against it. And like you said, Nouveau, about protecting yourself from embarrassment. You know, he was trying to protect himself. He was trying to protect the other kids in his family. And he realized that this was actively harming his daughter. And he decided to take the option of like, no, I'm not going to stop I'm not going to take this away from you because this is who you are. And if I take away who you are, there's a good thread, honestly. And I think this is probably hugely important as to why yes, we can send the video link. Hang on. I'll copy the link to tweet. There you go, Yarrow. This is honestly hugely important because Mia Moore posted a tweet thread about how a number of people in the pandemic lockdown situation are coming to terms with the fact that they are trans, right? It definitely feels like during the pandemic, more and more people are coming out. I came out during a lockdown period where I was like spending and I didn't even really get out of the house that much. But there were little bits and pieces here and there that just kept me distracted enough to not think about it. And then during lockdown, suddenly I'm at home, a lot more inside my own head, and I got to unpack some feelings I'd held for a long time. And I think, quite frankly, the case of adulthood, the issue with, people transitioning in adulthood, is that we get so bogged down by the monotony and routine of being an adult that we don't have time to unpack those feelings that we have. Which is why, again, it's so important to start listening to trans kids, trans teenagers, while they're in that phase of their life where they're going through that self-discovery period. We need to actually help them. We need to help these kids come to terms with themselves because they can't really... they can't do it themselves. No one can transition independently, really. It requires a lot of help, a lot of support. Otherwise, there's bad results. Gotta get going. Much love to you all. Have a good one, Rena. Same with the Media Machine. People don't have enough time in the day to research and unpack all the stories. Yeah, I was talking about this with Jacinta, I think. Talking about the fact that, just using the left-right binary political paradigm, which it's not. It's more nuanced than that. But generally speaking, you look at, right-wing media, and they will just gish gallop through topics over and over and over and over and over again. And the left will be sitting over here and like, oh, well, they've said, the right wing has said all of these things. Now we have to unpack all of this. It's going to take us much longer to unpack these ideas and educate people on why those ideas are wrong. You came out during lockdown too, now that you're thinking of it. There you go. And honestly, I think, I'm with you there, Vagabond. I wish I had come out when I was younger. Who knows where I'd be now? Who knows what kind of position I'd be in now? Because for so long, I was stuck in that mindset of just being an adult and being just a stock standard default character. I didn't want to be any kind of extraordinary or anything like that. Took me a long time to come to terms with the things that I really want in life, which is, quite frankly, being in front of a microphone talking to a lot of people at one time. I want to do this as a career. This needs to be my job, quite frankly. But anyway, it's not the point. I think the fact that I got stuck into very early on in my adulthood, I got stuck into being a parent, I got stuck in a relationship, I eventually tried several times to do study in varying different degrees. I eventually found my way into a very boring and very terrible job. And my adult life was just... And then, if we had downtime, me and the partner, we'd be spending time with other people a lot of the time, or I'd be spending time with her, or I'd be parenting. There'd always be something occupying my mind to some extent, that I never had that moment of just sit down, self-reflect, and think about yourself. And then lockdown happened, and it was a good way into lockdown. It was like July that I started thinking about this. But yeah, I got to this point where I was just alone, much more than usual. I was no longer going out to the shops as much because there was the lockdown. You couldn't go during certain periods of the day, and there were only certain amounts of people allowed out at once, or whatever it was. So there I am, I could no longer go to the gym, so I was doing my workouts at home, I was doing everything else by myself, and I had this moment of I'm beginning to re-experience things that I have not felt since I was a teenager, when again, I dropped out of school around the age of 15, and I had a ton of time to myself, and I began to unpack these feelings. But then things just prevented me from getting to that point. where I think I think I've said it several times, I scared myself into not being trans for a long time. I scared myself away from it. Because I did research, I looked into all of the hormones, the surgeries, etc., etc., etc. And then I pushed it away, I blocked it away. And then I started focusing on let's just exist as an adult. Let's not give ourselves any kind of target on our back, right? And I think that might be the case for a number of people, a number of trans people during lockdown that have come out. And the reason they've come out is because they've had that time when they're away from everybody else. They're away from all the distractions of the world that just keep you only focusing on the narrow. Sloth, there you go. And when you get focused on that narrowness, you get focused on just existing, just being a cog in the machine, you don't get that time to self-reflect. Anyway, Apollo, thank you for the hydration. You just want to give hugs? I could do with some hugs. Hugs are nice. The thing hiding in the closet starts to knock louder when there's nobody around, exactly. As you might have recalled if you've read my coming out letter, which is buried nowadays in my Twitter post history. I think I have the link to it saved somewhere on my hard drive. But you might notice I used the terminology that I locked Abigail in a cage in the back of my mind and buried her again underneath layers and layers of just perceived adulthood, perceived normalcy. Because if I'm just normal, if I'm just regular, if I'm just average, no one has to think too hard about my identity. They can just immediately default to he, him, and my birth name and all this kind of nonsense. I don't have to worry about, upsetting anyone. But I began to realize repressing myself became more important than is everybody else going to be comfortable. And you have to think about that. Like, this is one of those things that's like, you have to think about how important is your own happiness versus keeping everybody else happy. And this is one of those things that a lot of people in the UK would be seeing, given that they are faced with death by 1,000 cuts, according to this opinion piece. What do you say? You're a straight guy, but one thing that always shit you is the very boring, very stale traditional men's clothes, but women have dresses, corsets, yeah. Since coming out, my wardrobe is a lot more diverse nowadays, and I love it. Men's clothes are explicitly very boring. Anyways, sorry to get all emotional and very ranty on you folks there, but I just thought that was important to note. That was important to bring up. Time to go call your boyfriend who is sadly halfway across the country. Aww. Have a good one, Apollo. You used to hate the fact that you like girls, but when you came into high school, you feel in the friend group with the gays and the other LGBTQ plus identifying people, you got to accept yourself. Dad thinks you're gay to fit in. The idea of going gay because it's trendy, going trans because it's trendy, is baffling to me. Like, do you really think people... Again, this comes back around to that thing of like, oh, you just chose to be gay. It's like, why would anyone choose to be a minority that has routinely been violently oppressed? Why would anyone opt into that? Like, we know the issue that comes with being queer. Why the fuck? Here's an uplifting trans thing. What's this? Well, hang on. Well, we'll have a look at this in a moment. I want to keep reading the article because we're sort of like dipping in and out of this. Isn't that why you came out as trans? Trans is a trend. Couldn't think of a more right-wing talking point than I don't understand this. So I don't understand, so this must be trendy and I hate it. And their dogs are openly saying all LGBTQ plus people are pedos. Yes, the LGBT Alliance and their proxies align groups. And dogs are going more mask off. They're now arguing that the UK should not ban gay conversion therapy, which we just touched on with Pauline Hanson saying they shouldn't ban conversion therapy. Anyway, trans people are facing death by 1,000 cuts. The strategy itself appears to look like this: target laws and policies that accidentally or potentially protect trans people, no matter how seemingly inconsequential. In other words, death by 1,000 cuts. The goal is to adjust our political and legal systems such that they operate as if A, trans people do not exist, B, trans people are not to be taken seriously, C, trans people are a threat, or D, all of the above. This dogged work is not headline-grabbing stuff, but then groups like Women's Place UK, LGBT Alliance, and Transgender Trend have had their fill of that. Legal systems. After months of, or even years of uncritical news coverage, they might have realized fawning journalists can only get them so far. If a campaign's goal is, in effect, the eradication of a protected class of people, the work itself cannot be all OBEs and Newsnight specials. The architects of anti-gay and anti-abortion campaigns in the US, who UK groups may or may not communicate with online, could tell them that. Anti-trans campaigners have been so successful in shaping public opinion that when someone like me secures a politician's attention for 5 minutes, it is a surreal experience. It feels as if they are surprised to find that we are, in fact, real people, and they seem to forget the basic rules of decency when interacting with us. I have experienced this firsthand, but first, some necessary context. Oh, good lord. Okay, there's a lot here. Anyway, coming back to this for a second. We've done the ACLU thing. Yeah, no one chooses it. It's just who they are, and the unfortunate reality of the situation is, like, this is just a part of our society. There's a lot to suggest that being gay and being trans is innate. It's not something that we have opted into. It's not something we have decided voluntarily. There's a lot that suggests our personal nature as a social species feeds into this. Like, there's a potential biological element in our brains, and we've had this discussion before, even if being gay and being trans were a choice, that should still not affect anyone else. That should not have an effect on anyone who is transphobic or homophobic or what have you, even if we choose to be this way, which I didn't. I chose to come out. I chose to present myself the way that I am. But even if it were a choice, it should not be something that people are legislating against to wipe us out of existence. You know? The dog in question is a trans woman who is a teacher and is now leaking info on trans kids to rabid anti-trans people on social media. What the fuck? Jesus Christ, why? There's one girl you have a big crush on, but she is dating, so you just stay friends. Got a big titty goth girlfriend. Envious. He's a good dad. He's never actually said it to your face, though. He just says about you getting a BF, and you're like, sure. Came out to your partner when you were a teenager, but at the time we weren't dating, so they told me I wasn't attracted to women at all because he'd been with a guy yet, so he couldn't be gay just because he wanted to. Oh my god. Couldn't shake it 2 years. He came out part 2 again as a sapphic bi. There we go. Thank you, Rebecca. How you doing? Right, why would you choose this? When I first realized I was trans, I did everything I could to not be. Yeah, exactly. Same boat. Exactly the same boat. I've been trans for 16 years, but I've repressed it so heavily that, you know, I never presented in any way, shape, or form. I tried my best to be the opposite. If nothing else, it feels like I had imposter syndrome as a dude rather than as a chick. That makes sense? Welcome back. Thank you, Margot. Helping your best friends sue their uni for transphobia. Goodness, why? What have they done? That is not good. You know your dad isn't going to get it. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's atrocious. I have to completely and what's the phrase I'm looking for here? I have to be completely forthcoming about my privilege in this circumstance again. You know, I can only imagine how you folks are feeling, knowing that, you know, you've got to deal with parents like that. And I haven't had that situation, so, you know, I don't even know what to say, honestly. The situation there is so alien to me. And yet I am entirely familiar with it because it's the social norm for people to be transphobic, homophobic, etc. Racist as well, usually. We were going to talk a bit of racism tonight. I don't know if we're going to get to it, given that, you know, we're pretty heavy on this trans topic at the moment. Best friend rebuked transphobic comments in class and got disciplined for it? What did they rebuke exactly? Goodness. If it's not like me, then it's bad, yeah. Which comes back to our genocide thing before. We don't need this one anymore. They asked to postpone the disciplinary meeting because their friend died the day before and the university refused. That's disgusting. That is disgusting. Spent years pretending to be hyperfem only to still not fit in. Yeah. I know that feeling. Honestly, like the situation with pretending to be as mask presenting as possible. For so many years, I've always had this very distinct sensation around men. And I've never been comfortable around groups of men, no matter what. We'd have like, anytime there was a social gathering of any sort, you know, bunch of men, bunch of women, I'd always be relegated to go hang out with the dudes. And I'd be like, this is really uncomfortable. I don't like being around these people for some reason. I'd try my best, obviously. I'd do my absolute best. Should you get... No, stay here. I'm talking as a general social rule, honestly. When we were in those situations of like, there's a dudes group and there's a chicks group. You know, and I never felt comfortable in the dudes group, despite the fact that I felt like socially I had to be over in that group of people. You know, I had to be relegated to that group of people. Kind of weird that, you know, in social scenarios, in barbecues, for example, parties, whatever, always like a group of men, a group of women that section off and entertain themselves and blah. Yeah, I did try to be extremely bro-ish. Honestly, if we had any of my old content, we could actually demonstrate that for you. Because there was a lot of that in my streams before I came out. There was a lot of that very, very heavy-handed masculine stereotyping. You know, comfortable in neither. Well, yeah, that's true. But your dad will start to accept you more when you get a partner. This man just wants me to be happy. I mean, you could hope so. If it's not like me, it's really interesting. Humans are awesome. We're bloody monkeys who put an SUV-sized robot on Mars and it's telling us all about its journey. Exactly. Exactly. Sup, Green? How's it going? Always felt like cis women could somehow always tell you weren't one of them, no matter how much you try to fit in, you were always singled out as different. Yeah. I get that, and maybe it was just, quite frankly, you know, we could go back to, who has recordings of those streams then? I think Twitch does technically save all video content on servers, even if I don't have it available in my history, all of those VODs are still there, stored on a server somewhere. Under Amazon's control, but we can't go back in. There's like 2 or 3 clips I have saved on my hard drive of pre-transition me, and that's about it. All those old VODs are gone now. All of my old YouTube videos. Oh, actually, I've saved all of my old YouTube videos, pre-transition. All the ones that I did like in the last year or two, I guess you could say, where I was doing like a weekly video on a certain topic or whatever it was. Anyway, you always felt like cis women could somehow always tell you weren't one of them. Oh yeah, I read that bit. Being surrounded by men made you break out in hives. In hives? Oh my god. Stay within 5 centimeters of the one person you know. I have that situation now still, honestly. If I have to go into a new social scenario, I'm still going to cling very tightly to the one person I'm aware of. Guns don't kill people. Statistically speaking, penises are more often than not dangerous. True. Yeah, we wouldn't have, actually shit scared of cis women. I will admit there is a latent, fear. There is a latent fear that, you know, any woman I meet could be a TERF. I am scared of that. Which makes it particularly uncomfortable because I'm like, you know, I'm scared of men for a number of reasons, and now I'm scared of women for other reasons. But I'm still more comfortable around a group of women than I am around a group of men. Hello, Ketchups. Welcome to the Rover. SUV-sized robot is an understatement. It takes up 4 traffic lanes. Wait, seriously? You always downloaded all your streams. How do you have the storage space? Go until destroyed a lot of your old photos. I've got a few. I've got a few older photos saved. Thank you, Ketchups. An image you want to show of your progress. It's just a counter, but you're very proud. Yeah, if you want to. And one of your only male friends is constantly whining about how you're not attracted to him. Oh, God. Put some distance there. Put some distance there. Oh, my God, Forks. No, I haven't gone to therapy for it, but I don't need to. Because I completely understand why that is. You know, I completely understand the reasoning behind it nowadays. What's my position on guns? I like Nerf guns. I have a Nerf gun. I was doing therapy for a bit, but it became too expensive. And that's the thing, right? You know, I don't have the money for therapy. I'm a broke bitch. Water pistols are good. My personal stance on guns is look up the Port Arthur massacre and then tell me if you think we should still need them. That's my general stance. But it is honestly, you know, that's very reductionist. I do believe the nuance of gun discussion is dependent on location. Right here in Australia, you can't really get a gun. So my position is, we don't need firearms in Australia. Civilians don't need to have them, because generally speaking, it's agreed upon you're not going to stumble across a shooter, and that whole idea of the one good guy with a gun situation, which almost never happens, by the way. But you know, that idea of needing to defend yourself with a firearm is seldom really an issue.
I see
Calgar,
you
hello,
brought guests.
friendo.
Welcome, friends.
What were you streaming, my friend? How'd you go tonight? Welcome in, Raiders. I hope you're all well. The good guy with a gun argument was a propaganda
Welcome
from the
back,
NRA and a
supporter
sub.
of the cause.
Bloody
We.
legend. 12 months. We. Was it France? What was France? Welcome back, loyal friend. Do you see someone for trans things then? I used to see someone, but again, it became too expensive. I only saw a psychologist in the first place so that the doctor was like, okay, we can now refer you to an endocrinologist. And then they referred me to an endocrinologist, and now I see the endocrinologist every so often, right? So I know, yeah, so the basic situation was I went to my general practitioner. They sent me to a psychologist. After one appointment with the psychologist, I went back to the GP, and I said, okay, I saw the psychologist. I still want to transition. And they're like, okay, I'm going to refer you to an endocrinologist. You need to take a blood test. Did the blood test, went to the endocrinologist, got my prescription shortly after, and now I'm on hormones. It was very, very easy to get onto HRT. Honestly. And I went and saw that psychologist for 6 months. She was good. She wasn't bad. I just realized, I had 6 affordable visits, and I would have to go back to my GP and request further visitation. Otherwise, I would be paying for the psychologist full price and not getting a Medicare rebate. JK, welcome to the program. How you doing? Okay, let me go through my process. All right. So I went to my general practitioner, so just your doctor, who diagnoses whatever. He recommended I go to a psychologist, talked with the psychologist for one session, then I went back to my doctor, and he referred me to an endocrinologist. Went to the endocrinologist. I think I had a blood test before the first endo appointment, and then, we got on HRT immediately. After the first endocrinologist appointment, I got on HRT immediately. And it was within 2 weeks I had my prescription and I was able to start hormone replacement therapy. I started on testosterone, and then there was a follow-up appointment with the endocrinologist, and we got on estrogen about a month or so later, and I've been on estrogen for about 5 months. So anyway, Calgar, as you were saying, Cocktail and then Dark Souls went down the Pruld rabbit hole. Interesting. Pruld is fun. Sounds like some BS capitalist healthcare. Honestly, it's quite good, because I'm not paying excessive amounts of money. Although endocrinologist appointments are pricey. Testosterone blockers, not testosterone, estrogen, after being on blockers for about a month. All in all, very good. It's been very good for me. Trans gatekeeping exists even in socialized healthcare systems. Well, yeah, true. Paying money for healthcare is a BS, true. Welcome back to Twitch, thank you. The Prald's Coffin Dance. Has it got the same music though, or is it different music? Someone for your diabetes and it was 150. Yeah, it's not cheap. I had to pay $135 the other day for a phone call. A 15-minute phone call I had to pay $135 for. I got $65 back. But still. It's got a cover that fits Dark Souls better than the original. There you go. You know what's worse? What's worse? UK is capitalist BS, and we have much freer healthcare in Australia, true. Instead of risking DMCA, yeah. Instead of risking DMCA. Oh, okay, and so using that instead of, okay, yeah. What's worse, psychiatrist. I haven't been to a psychiatrist. ADHD psych for 30 minutes, almost 300, yeah. I was paying just shy of 200 for psychologist appointments, and then getting 120 odd back from that on Centrelink. Medicare, not Centrelink. In Quebec, we're supposed to have trans affirming clinics, but they aren't even fully trans affirming all the time. Ridiculous. It's kind of absurd that, we want to get on HRT and we want to get our surgeries and all that sort of stuff. I can understand surgery costing, because surgery's not cheap. There's no actual For example, there's no actual hormone, what's the phrase I'm looking for? There's no actual legitimate hormone, there's an excuse they use. What's the phrase? Like, there's not enough to go around. Katrina, thank you. It's off topic, but you need to say something. Go ahead, Draco. There's like this idea because hormone replacement therapy is used by cis people who are not, they're not transitioning. These medications we are taking are for other things. Like, I think elderly women take the estrogen tablets I'm taking for other reasons, and testosterone blockers are used for other reasons, and testosterone itself used for other reasons. And there's no shortage, hormone shortage. There's no shortage. It's a nonsense argument to try to make things, post-menopause, there we go. There's no actual shortage. They're just trying to make it harder for trans people to transition. The shortage is designed, exactly. You do get rebates, but you still need to have, you need to have 300 in your account. So you gotta try to keep the money in your account until the appointment, and then, you take all that money out of your account. Yes, you get some of it back, but for a short period there, you're out of money. Well, Twitch didn't tell me to change my name. They did suspend me indefinitely for a week. It could have been, banned forever over a username, but they changed it to RogueBX, which I'm not unhappy with. I actually quite like it. It's not bad. I'll deal with it for the next 60 days, and then I'll change it to what I want it to be. Become a part of your routine here pretty much every day, and when you were suspended, it threw everything out of whack. I know that feeling. It gave me a ton of emotional issues being suspended, honestly. Having put so much work into this particular platform, which is a bad thing, honestly. We could get into the discussion of how don't put all your eggs in one basket.
You are now one of
Yarrow,
us.
thank you for gifting a sub to Mrs. L. Goodness me. Look at this. Look at this shit. This is a daily sub goal. And we hit 77 subs every day. 78 actually. Margot, enjoy that lurk. I am loved. Thank you so much. We have Cube. We do have Le Cube. Don't put all your eggs in 87 baskets. True. If you've got to you got to pick and choose the content creation platforms you want to use and try to maximize them as much as possible. And Twitch has been, quite frankly, my most successful platform. Amazing that I'm back. Your streams genuinely keep you happy. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that, quite frankly. That means a lot to me. Oh my god. Okay, I have a question for you folks. There's someone here who wants me to unban him. Did we already submit an unban request? I think he already did, and we re-denied him. Hello, Ambitious. How you doing? I'm gonna ask him. Okay, why? I'm gonna ask him, why? Because he said today at 10:45, so 14 minutes ago. This is the guy who wanted to have a discussion. He wanted to have a discussion about what being transgender is, right? But he was being rather pushy about it, and we ended up banning him because of his invasive questions. And I just sent back, why? Why would I unban you? Boop, welcome. Welcome in, how you doing? Why should I unban you? Think you're unfairly treated. Willing to talk it or just drop it? Blood. Blood for the blood god. Asking about genital surgery? I don't think so. I don't think that came up. I don't have you blocked. Alright. And you know what? You may come and ask me questions in my chat if you're watching right now. I'll remove the ban on you. But if you are going to ask me rather invasive questions that can be answered by Google, there's really no point to ask those questions of me. Anyway, time to go read at least 2 books first. Speaking of, I've heard good things about a book called Detransition Baby. Which, a lot of people have been, and it's, I mean, when I say I've heard good things, I mean a lot of trans people have been saying good things about this novel, Detransition Baby. I've heard it's an actually good book. I don't know how good it is, but a lot of the very good, very left, very pro-trans folks I follow on social media have been lauding this book. So I may actually give it a crack. I'm curious. Like, I'm wondering what exactly the situation is with it. Buckle up. I'm just gonna look it up. And Detransitioners is another thing that's been... Yeah, Tori Peters is the author of Detransition Baby. And as you can see, we've got Shinigami Eyes, which highlights her as green. So she's... she seems like she's one of the good ones. Out with the One World and Serpent's Tail. Also wrote the novellas Infect Your Friends and Loved Ones and The Masker. It's like the blurb makes it sound like it could be a turfy book, but surprisingly isn't, according to people who've read it. Yeah, that makes me curious, and I may actually give it a crack. Look inside. Let's have a look. Insight Sandbox Test. Detransition Baby by Tori Peters. Have a gander here. A novel by Tori Peters is a work of fiction. Two divorced cis women who, like me, had to face starting their life over without either reinvesting in illusions from the past or growing bitter about the future. So Shinigami Eyes, for those who are curious, is an extension you can get for Chrome that highlights pro-trans people in green and anti-trans people in red. Yeah, read this before asking questions about what being trans is. The transgender Wikipedia page, absolutely. Okay, Chapter 1, 1 month after conception. We can actually read a bit of it. We can read a bit of it. The question for Reese: were married men just desperately attractive to her, or was the pool of men who were available to her as a trans woman only those who had already locked down a cis wife and could now explore with her? The easy answer, the one that all of her girls advocated, was to call men dogs. But now here's Reese sneaking around with another handsome, charming motherfucking cheater. Look at her, wearing a black lace dress and sitting in his parked Beamer, waiting while he goes into Dwayne Reed to buy condoms. Then she's going to let him come over to her apartment, avoid the pointed glare of her roommate, Iris, and have... Okay, I think we get the point. That's very, very not safe for stream. Goodness. I'll give it a look. I'll give it a look. Oh my god. I can't read that on Twitch. That's a lot. I don't know if this person's actually watching the stream or not. I unbanned them. They haven't come in yet. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the premise of the book is. So this is why I'm curious. There we go. I've told them I've unbanned them. It's an extension for Chrome. It might be available on like Firefox and other things like that. Ow, I've been sitting on my leg for like an hour and it fucking hurts. I really shouldn't be stretching my leg under my desk because that's where the power cable is for my computer. Who made the extension? I don't recall, actually. It is available on Firefox, apparently. Detransitions. Okay. Interesting. It works on... Yeah, it works on anything, I think. Pretty much everything. Facebook, Twitter. All things. Highlights transphobic or anti-LGBT and trans-friendly subreddits, users, Facebook pages, groups with different colors, yeah. It seems pretty reliable, honestly. Yeah. But yeah, well, I'll give it a look. I'll have to give it a look at some point. You socially transitioned and detransitioned age 1920 in 2011 2012. Maybe I should make that a command. Yeah, maybe I should. It's just on the... I think it's just on the extension store. Hang on, this is where I found it. That's the one. Ugh. I've had a lot of carbonated beverages today. Hitting me pretty hard. Alright. Shall we refocus? Shall we come back to whatever it is we were talking about? We've been all over the place. Your imposter syndrome is being really awful right now. Wondering if you could call you Cherry with she, her pronouns. I absolutely can. And by the way, if you type !pronouns in chat, we actually have a pronouns extension that shows up next to your username. You can have she, her pronouns next to your username. How are you, Cherry? I hope you're doing well. What will the eyes say of me? The amount of lists you get placed on for being anti-LGBT when my Twitter is very extremely big gay dude crime. I actually put myself on Shinigami Eyes as a pro-trans person because I'm a trans person who is very pro-trans. Oh hey, yeah, my latest video essay. I've really got to get on finishing the next one. It's well past a month since I uploaded that video, so I've got to finish the one that I'm working on now, record it, edit it, and get it up because of the end of the month is rapidly approaching, and I've got to work on the next one after that. I've been really lazy. I have been extremely bloody lazy. I hate this. Anyways. I think some accounts you follow are a bit exclusionary in their views of the community, so you've been hit with this. Oh, yeah. I think I got placed on certain lists based on people I follow on social media. And, excuse me. Let me get some water. Hang on. Yeah, guilt by association. I've had a slightly tough week, yeah. Excuse me. Okay. So. What was I saying? I've forgotten what I was saying now. I was on a topic. Hello, Hecklin. Welcome back to the Rogue Room. There you go, love. Yeah, no, I got placed on certain block lists on Twitter wherein I was finding that I couldn't interact with certain people, and I'd be like, you're blocked by this account, basically. And, the reason that I was blocked was because people have been placing me on block lists. In one specific example, this person had me on a block list because they perceived me as someone who would
Welcome
talk
back,
over...
supporter of the cause.
Yara, thank you for gifting a sub to Vagabond. They saw me as someone who would talk over people of color on people of color related issues, and I'm like, what the fuck? In what universe would I do that? Why did they make that assumption of me? Oh my god, it's like Twitter is dumb. Haven't we read enough follows, retweets, and not endorsement disclaimers? Yeah, true. True. Just because, like, I follow Lilith Lovett, for example, it doesn't mean I agree with every single one of her viewpoints. For example. Goodness. Okay, so. Shall we talk about... You are back, I did unban you. Shall we talk about... We didn't touch on this just yet. We didn't touch on... This is a week ago now, though. This is a problem. This is a week ago now. So it's a bit outdated. It's a 8-day-old article. But regarding the House of Lords and Graham Linehan, and they're just... The picture is just amazing. Can I just point... The picture is incredible. Can we point that out really quickly? DJ... Following Twitch Saga, glad to see we're back up and running. Thank you. Adminning is hard on mobile, yeah. It would be. Okay. The House of Lords and Graham Linehan. Fuck Linehan, yeah. About a week ago, Graham Linehan posted on his Substack about being invited to speak in Parliament under Lord Gilbert's Communications and Digital Committee. He and Helen Stanland, infamously known as the Penis Lady... were being invited to talk about freedom of expression online. It's unclear how and why they were specifically invited. They specifically were invited, but nonetheless it was amazing to watch. Again, I don't know where you can actually watch this. Originally, I was met with a lot of emotion over the news that Parliament were specifically inviting an abusive person like Linehan to talk about anything. As many of you might know, I was recently doxxed and had my personal information given to a cyber stalking website, which then proceeded to invade the personal and private lives of my family and friends. Well, Graham Linehan was a big role in making that happen. At some point, my personal information made it to Graham Linehan, including a photo of me as a 15-year-old. This is how messed up Graham Linehan is. Linehan posted this to his 600,000 followers on Twitter, and I wholeheartedly believe this is what led to it becoming far more widespread than it had been up until that point. Yeah, 600... Why the fuck would you take a photo of a 15-year-old child and spread it to your 600,000 followers on social media? There is a reason this man got fucking banned on Twitter. For the record. Anyway. Everyone... Yeah, Yarrow is poggers and based. Can we get some Yarrow is poggers and based in chat? I reported this directly to a contact I have on Twitter's abuse team, so I know for a fact it was dealt with by actual real human beings, as opposed to it going through the regular report system, which often finds slurs and even direct threats as no violation. I've had to deal with that before in the past, a bunch of shit that's like clearly a violation of their TOS, and the automated system does nothing about it. The post was removed quite quickly, but Graham Linnon's account was not. It would be several months before his account would finally be shut down after years of abusing transgender people and our allies on the platform, including a few threats of legal action for criticizing him. Did I dye my fringe? No. This is just how I look. I've considered it though. I'm honestly strongly considering maybe silver or blonde. I think that's why Twitter has block lists, to keep people from being abused. I mean, yeah, true. It's stuff like this that makes me wonder why exactly Stephen Gilbert from the House of Lords thought listening to this person would be a good idea. It's something I'll most certainly be sending a query about, because it's completely wild how off the rails this whole thing went and how quickly, but it was entirely predictable if you knew literally anything about Mr. Linnon. They were invited to talk about freedom of expression online, a very serious topic in which we talk about how much power social media platforms have to control discussions. Instead, Linnon and Stanaland made the whole thing about their Twitter bans. Oh, we can do multiple camera angles. Don't worry, I got 2 cameras. And you can see how much of a mess like this area is. This is why I mainly use this camera, because look at how neat and tidy everything is. And you look over here and there's a cable there, and it's like my charger is wrapped around itself, and there's just a mess of junk. Stay with this one thing. Anywho. Okay. No, I'm not joking. The whole thing was a farce. When you compare it to the panel that started immediately after with experts on copyright law and abuses of it, the contrast becomes exceedingly stark. The members of our government who not only took part in it but also arranged it showed their exasperation throughout, and I imagine are feeling high-key embarrassed about the whole thing. Normally this wouldn't have been such an issue since viewing figures for this kind of thing are low, but Linnon and Stanaland's profiles really rocketed those viewing figures up. But now thousands of people got to feel the secondhand cringe watching Graham Linnon being told this isn't Speaker's Corner for getting all preachy. This is fucking great. Well, most people here are trans. I don't know necessarily, honestly. If they are, they are. If they're not, they're not. There are a fair amount of trans people here, I would say. Trans and NB people here.
The Rogue Room appreciates your
Mind of Martinez,
recommendation.
thank you for the host. And we're back, yes indeed. Thank you for the warm welcome back. Yeah, we dealt with the nonsense, but I feel a lot better now. Can I use the camera simultaneously? No, I can't. I can do this. About it, though. And honestly, looking at this angle, over here, it's a much more flattering angle than this one, which shows off my schnog. Anywho, come back to this. It sucks though, the topic they were there to discuss is a big issue and one I actually feel quite passionate about. I've spoken previously about the lack of transparency in Twitter's ban system, the fact that their terms of service isn't particularly clear, the fact that the same terms of service is selectively applied, the fact that it's so easy to game if you know what to look out for, the fact that it's largely run by robots and you never really feel like you're getting through to a human being that can actually understand context. Lots of things wrong with it and the moderation systems of so many other platforms too. It's genuinely something I want to see an improvement to because the impacts this can have on freedom of speech online are massive and important. I mean, this is exactly the kind of situation that I had with Twitch. Twitch's automated system, I just got bombarded with reports, and Twitch's moderation system just went ahead and banned me without any actual humans looking at it, and courteously, a human being did look at my case and eventually unbanned me and changed my name, but it still took a week, and it caused a lot of emotional distress, quite frankly. However, it didn't lead to me experiencing my entire life falling apart, as Graham Linnon's obsession with transphobia managed to do to him. Does she get into... Okay, there's a little bit more. Okay, here we are. PBT, how you doing? Okay, so where were we? You might identify as a barbecue. For anyone who's curious about my friend Jacinta's pronouns, her pronouns are that cunt. Anyway, yes, my wife did not leave. I don't have a wife, first of all, so I didn't even have that to lose. But the point stands. Yeah, straight is heterosexual, cisgender is And that, honestly, that was a thing that came up in regards to the super straight thing recently. Don't say any of the super straight... Don't say any variant of super straight. My bot will delete your message. Just for the record. He won't time you out, but he will delete your message. Anyway, we did have, with regards to the super straight thing, there was one person who was referring to it as a gender, and I'm like, you even got your own meme wrong. You guys were calling it a sexuality. Now you're claiming it's a gender? Like, do you not realize that genders and sexualities are two different things? Dickheads. Biological heterosexual. Morons. You think the LGBT community is being represented in a negative light by Drag Queen Story Hour and similar projects? I don't know enough about that to make a comment on it, honestly. Biological Christian. Straight cis, not crazy about pronouns yourself, but everyone more power to you. Yeah. Anyway, as we were talking about, for example, when I started my Twitter account, transphobia wasn't really policed on Twitter at all. Transphobes were running rife saying all sorts of awful crap to and about trans people. Still happens all the time, by the way. And it just wasn't considered to be targeted harassment. I remember regularly being tagged into threads with 50 plus people in them all shouting at me about how I'm really a man and a fetishist and a pervert and I hate women and I'm a homophobe, etc. and so forth. So yeah, I did repeatedly lash out back at these people and get banned for it regularly. Signed cop it, bastards. Transphobes were just allowed to abuse us completely unimpinged. Though if trans people did raise our voices in retaliation, we were struck down immediately for it. I've also received a ban for tweeting a Nickelback meme in order to make fun of a transphobic politician, and even received a ban because actual internet Nazi types didn't like my support for a 13-year-old autistic boy doing drag performances. Bad moderation policies that were just implemented without due care and attention allowed to create most of these situations. And it's not just the bad policies either, it's the bad appeal system too. This tends to just go on about Gemma Stone herself, not really a whole lot about Graham Linehan. I wanted to read about Graham Linehan and how his life has fallen apart. Let's go back to Linehan for a moment. Anyway, the idea of drag queens is actually about making fun of differences between conformist men and women. Yeah, like I said, I don't know enough about drag queens. I only know the smallest amount. Sorry, but there you go. Many drag queens as trans women, non-binary people, gender non-conforming people who use drag as a way to explore and find their gender identity and expression. I do regret that I never had that chance when I was younger. I never really explored any of that. So nowadays, I'm experiencing a whole lot of, new things and dresses. Great. But I'm not really going hugely overboard with, like, gaudy makeup and big wigs and nonsense like that. A lot of cis woman drag queens. Yeah, true. You can go bio queen. And trans women get called drag queens because they're not seen as real women. Drag is an art form. It is. Hello, Gamer Gucci. How you doing? Anyway, Graham Linehan accused of using House of Lords as a court of appeals. This is just amazing. This is just amazing. Like, we already got into this a little bit, but just the sheer power of this headline. Graham Linehan accused of using the House of Lords as a court of appeal to overturn his Twitter ban. You know what I'm gonna do next time I get banned on Twitch? I'm gonna go to fucking Parliament. And I'm going to say, I've been treated unfairly, and we need to do something about this. I'm going to go to the fucking Parliament. I don't intend to get banned again, mind you, on Twitch. Graham Linehan was accused of using the House of Lords as a court of appeal to overturn his Twitter ban during a discussion on freedom of expression online. I love this description. The disgraced comedy writer. I love that we always immediately go to the disgraced comedy writer. That's just amazing to me. That's incredible. Every single time I see an article referring to Graham Linehan these days, it refers to him as a disgraced comedy writer, and that is his legacy now. Can you imagine destroying your legacy over your obsession with trans people? It's excellent. Was invited to speak with the Communications and Digital Committee on Tuesday, the 9th of March, regarding social media conduct policies. Lennon, who was hit with a permanent Twitter ban last year for hateful conduct, was repeatedly reined in by peers as he derailed the discussion with gender-critical issues. After pressing to read... Let me do that again. With gender-critical issues. After pressing to read a statement he had prepared, Lennon was allowed to speak unbroken for 7 minutes on topics ranging from J.K. Rowling, puberty blockers, his financial problems, and his failed marriage. If you believe that J.K. Rowling is transphobic, then you are under a spell, he said. If you believe that men can fairly compete against women in their sports, including contact sports, then you are under a spell. If you believe men will not go to the most extreme lengths to gain access to women and children, then you are under a spell. If you believe that children as young as 3 can agree to a procedure that puts them on a medical pathway for life and arrests their natural puberty, then you are under a spell. This man is delusional. While young children are often well aware of their gender identity. Kihara!
Welcome, friends.
Thank you for the raid. Welcome in, raiders. We're talking about a very trash human being. Raid Shadow Legends. He has lost the plot. Imagine going to Parliament to complain about this shit. What were you chatting about tonight, Kiara? What's going on? What was going on? Thank you for the raid. Thank you for the welcome back. Nice to be here again. It's nice to be back where I belong. So happy and proud that you're trans. So am I. We should all be happy and proud that we're trans. If we are. We're not all trans here. Quite a few cis folks here. We should be happy and proud of who we are, quite frankly. What's up, Gabbo the Gamer? How you going? I love that raid emote. That's amazing. Yeah, he's a man who keeps invading women's spaces and being creepy. He's quite literally the person doing all the shit he's saying that trans women are doing. Proudly, openly trans and non-conforming. Fuck yeah. I'm doing good. I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. We're back on Twitch, where I belong. Fantastic. It's an interesting way to prove a point. Like, he went on a dating app, remember? He went on a lesbian dating app to make a profile that was trying to, like, prove the problem with self-ID. Here's him making a profile, pretending to be a woman, or doing himself up in the most gaudy, fake, trans get-up he possibly could. Anyway. Stupid. Yeah, it would be good if you could get the pronouns on Twitch Mobile. It sucks that you can't. That's why Twitch needs to add them manually. And he keeps doxing kids. Graham Lennon is unhinged. This man needs a psychologist or a psychiatrist. He does not need to be before the House of Lords talking about his Twitter ban. Anyway, where were we? While young children are often well aware of their gender identity, there is no way for 3-year-olds to access trans healthcare, let alone puberty-blocking drugs. All experts at this age is to affirm the child's gender, for example, through a haircut or clothing. With respect, this is an inquiry into freedom of expression online, and that's what I now want to return to, replied Lord Gilbert of Panteg, the committee's chair. We're not here as a court of appeal to review any decisions that have been made by tech companies. We're here to think about how public policy in this area may develop. We're not Speaker's Corner. You've made your point. God, just shut down, Graham Lennon. Get shut down, you wanker. Lennon was joined by Helen Stanaland, a software developer and prominent anti-trans figure who was also kicked off Twitter for violating conduct policies. I am banned from the public square for the rest of my life, she told the panelists. She called for greater transparency regarding Twitter's moderation. She and Lennon suggested the platform should disclose data on individuals who report tweets and establish a clear appeals process with an independent adjudication panel, the members of which would also be disclosed. When asked about the Law Commission's consultation on criminalizing posts which are likely to cause emotional or psychological harm, Stanaland expressed concern that it could be used as a tool for the powerful to silence the weak, but conceded that an expert psychologist's definition on the matter would be an excellent start. Thank you for swinging by tonight, Gabbo. Have a good one with your homework. Transparency. We did talk about transparents before. We did talk about transparency before. Once we agree, there needs to be more transparents on Twitter. They do. We need more transparents on Twitter. Absolutely. When asked about the Law Commission's consultation on criminalizing posts, which are... Oh, we did that. Satellite expressed concern. There we go. Lennon, however, veered off once more to discuss biological facts and sex-based rights. He was again asked to return to the topic at hand. My show, The It Crowd, was banned from Channel 4 because the current generation coming up is extremely censorious, very, very sensitive, and simply can't deal with certain jokes or principles or ideas. He replied, because you portrayed a trans woman in a very, very negative light, Graham Lennon, which started this whole thing, you dickhead. It Crowd. Parents that are trans or parents of trans kids. Anywho. So just because those generations have that doesn't mean it should be imposed on the rest of us. This is literally some get off my lawn shit. This is literally some get off my lawn, you dang kids shit. Graham Lennon's focus remained on his Twitter ban even as Lord Colville attempted to change the subject to Facebook. The peer repeatedly directed him to describe the specific processes regarding a post being removed, but he appeared disciplined to speak about the platform, saying, "I don't really care about Facebook, so I never appeal." When Lord Colville highlighted the transparency in Facebook's content moderation and appeal policies, which are led by a 20-member oversight board, Graham Lennon again responded by talking about his offensive tweets. What I'm interested in is the way the tech platforms are actually responding to that, because after all, our report is going to have to look at that, Lord Colville said. That so many platforms should come to the same conclusion about you is extraordinary if you have done nothing to harass anyone, the peer noted at one point. Sour grapes, Lennon. Sour grapes, Graham. Get over yourself. Oh, it's marvelous. It's delightful. It's delectable. To see him just he just repeatedly, honestly, makes an ass out of himself. He truly does. And it's amazing. Yeah, he'd make a good politician the way he dodges direct questions. Quite frankly, don't give him ideas, he'll do it. He will do it! I fully expect him to. And Lennon supported the... Hang on, what have I missed? UK government just passed a bill from first reading that means protesters can be arrested for posing a risk of annoyance or inconvenience with a prison sentence greater than for rape. I know about this. And Lennon supported the bill because a trans-inclusive group protested against the bill. Yeah, of course he did. Of course he did. His whole thing, Graham Lennon, here's the situation with Graham Lennon, right? And I only know about this in the past couple of months or so. And yes, I am back. We're back in business. It's awesome. Have a good one, Hecklin. Have another big day of tape tomorrow. Sounds good. Have a good one, Hecklin. Love your face. The thing about Graham Lennon is he made that joke that was outwardly transphobic in his show, in the It Crowd. And that sort of set in motion a chain of events that led to his relationship falling apart. Like his marriage fell apart, he got a divorce. He's experiencing financial troubles, he got kicked off Twitter because of his obsession, an absolute disturbing obsession with transgender people. It's not normal. What he's doing is, quite frankly, deranged. He's unhinged. Graham Lennon needs to get off the internet entirely and stop obsessing so much about transgender people who are not affecting his life in any way, shape, or form. Someone has to give me an example of what exactly has happened to him that has led him to go down this road. What has happened with regards to a transgender person? Also, Fox, have a good night. Have a good sleep. I cannot fathom. Has he at all, aside from the fact that he's been brigaded off Twitter, which is rightful, you know, having his platform shut down there is good. Because he was, as we've demonstrated, taking pictures of young people pre-transition, like a 15-year-old person before their transition. He took that to his 600,000 follower base on Twitter. You know, under what circumstances is that a justified thing to do to anyone? Why would you go and find a photograph of someone when they're 15 to drag on your social media? And then we come back around to his blog. Right? In the same vein, his Glinner blog, where is it? Glinner. You may have recalled I did this. I did a video on this where he went on to the lesbian dating app Her, and he literally just grabbed screenshots. Oh my god, how many things has he posted since then? Fucking Christ. He grabbed a whole bunch of screenshots of all these trans women's dating profiles on this lesbian dating app like Tinder basically, and he was just posting their pictures on his blog. There was no further context. It was just like, these are all on a lesbian dating app, this is proving why self-ID is bad, and then it's just a whole list of photos. It's just a whole list of photos of women's dating profiles, of these trans women's dating profiles. And that's it. That's the entire article. That's the entire blog post. It's like, for what reason did he have to do that? He didn't need to do that. And, quite frankly, on dating apps, you have the option to just swipe left. I mean, if we refer to Tinder, you have the option to just deny people if you don't like the way they look. Like, nobody on a dating app is demanding you fuck them, right? If someone goes on a dating app, they're looking for someone that is interested in them. And if they find someone on a dating app that is interested in them, well, good for them. Fantastic. If for example, a gender non-conforming trans lesbian, hell, I'm going to say it, if we find a trans lesbian who happens to have a bit of facial hair stubble, who is not on hormones, maybe not yet, maybe not having surgery or anything, and they go on a lesbian dating app and surprise, let's just say, for example, a cisgender lesbian swipes right on them, and they start hanging out and they develop into a loving relationship, who does that affect aside from the people involved in that relationship? Who? Who the fuck did his... Like, what was his point by going on that dating app? What was the fucking point of doing that? There was no point. There was none, except to drag trans people. It affects Graham. Graham's sad. The trannies are a real thing. I've got to stop them. It's literally no one else's problem. Yeah, and Katrina, I know cis women who've got facial hair. I'm not going to say who it was, but someone I am friends with has recently reached out to me and said, how's laser? Because they've got PCOS. This person I know has PCOS and it creates a mustache. And they want to get it removed. And I gave them details about how the laser works when I get it done. Cisgender woman who's got a hormone imbalance thanks to something internal. Not her fault. And we come back to the woman who... where was it? Woman 31 who refuses to shave off her mustache or her unibrow. Because despite cruel comments, says it helps her weed out potential love interest and claims she gets more positive attention from men. Look at this fucking queen right here. Look at this fucking queen right here. We've mentioned her before. This gender woman who has got a little bit more hair than is socially considered acceptable. You know? And she refuses to get rid of it because it's no one else's business. She's basically just stunning. It helps that she has actually just a generally gorgeous face. Rocking the Frida Kahlo, exactly. And again, it's no one else's business except those that she decides she wants to make it their business. You know? So what's Lennon's point? What is Lennon's point? Biology is not so simple. Gender is not so simple, my friends. The concept of gender, what we know as sex and gender, are two divergent concepts that we need to unpack in a lot of ways. Up in Melbourne's northern suburbs with Greek and Turkish chicks, yeah, y'all think women can't grow facial hair? Exactly. Did a stream on her experiences with the hormonal stuff and facial hair. A discussion with Lexi/Doe. Biologically, I'm a trans woman, exactly. Mom is a cis woman who uses a little battery-powered facial hair trimmer. It's genetic. Yeah, exactly. It's no one's business and it's no one's fault. Just because, and quite frankly, I feel really bad for trans women who, quite frankly, Louis, come from those Greek and Turkish backgrounds, because I've seen a lot of cis women from that background, from that Greek background, who've got a lot of thick, dark hair on their bodies. And I can only imagine the toll that would take. Like, you see the men from those backgrounds, they've got a ton of hair. I've seen men who will shave in the morning and have a 3-day stubble in the afternoon. You know, can you even imagine being in that particular situation as a transgender person, as a trans woman? You are that man. Lots and lots of body hair. Bloody turfs who claim female humans are more close genetically to female chimps than male humans. Oh, God. Italian heritage makes transitioning hard. I suppose I'm fortunate in that regard. But, you know, some of the facial hair situation that I've got, the mustache area, quite frankly, irritates me to no end because it doesn't seem like it's going away. But maybe it will. You know, who knows? You know, the rest of my facial hair situation at the moment is largely cleaned up. Like, once they did the eyebrow section here, I have not had a monobrow since like a few sessions of them hitting the middle of my eyebrows. I don't need to shave or pluck there at all anymore. That hair's just gone. Most of the sideburn area is gone. Underneath is gone. Some of this area is gone, but it's just like mostly the top lip, which is the most front and center obvious area. And I want that gone more than anything else. Anyway. Are there TERFs who literally believe men are from Mars and women are from Venus? More than likely. I get laser. I can't afford electrolysis. Electrolysis is ridiculous. It's like $300 a session. I think. Maybe even more than that, quite frankly. It's a lot. It's a lot of money. It's a lot. By the way, just noticed. And it was higher before, but I think a couple of subs have run out throughout the duration of the stream. We just smashed 200 subscribers, my friends. Tonight, at some point, we smashed 200 subs. I'm just sitting there looking at my paused face while I'm talking at you. We have smashed 200 subscribers. What the fuck? God. Where do trans people come from? Transsexual Transylvania. No, not that one. Wrong button. I'm a sweet transvestite from transsexual Transylvania. We smashed 200 subs. God, I wish that were me. Don't ever make me sing. I can only do vibrato. I don't know. What's the regular pulsating change of pitch? No, I can't do that one. You didn't do it properly, you would have been cancelled. Anna, welcome to the Rogue Room. How you doing? 142 Aussie bucks. 1 USD is about 40 Australian dollars. Oh, goodness. Excusez-moi. Oh, yeah. I was going to say, like, we have been discussing, at least in the past couple of weeks in class at uni. We've moved on to class now. Like, in class, we've moved on to the discussion of class. But like I've said prior, 7 out of 10. Let's do better than this. How's that one? Rank that one. Can we get some rankings in chat on my belches, please? In my social science introduction class, which I'm going through now, which is my current course that I'm doing, and then next semester I'm probably going to be doing 2 courses. And then I'm going to try to bump that up to 4. I'm going to try to go full-time by next year. A friend just sent me to your channel and I had to follow after that Transylvania joke. I haven't watched Rocky Horror in a long time. I should rewatch it. I've heard it's rather problematic looking back on it now, but anywho, that's neither here nor there. As I was saying, we were talking sex and gender, and like I said before, I've got an assignment coming up. I've got a podcast that I have to do with 4 other members of my class, which we have chosen the subject of sex and gender, and I think we're doing specifically the representation of women in the media as our like focal topic. So you got to pick from like sex and gender, class, and like race. Like there were a few issues, and sex and gender was the one we picked, and then we decided from there you got to like pick a more very specific issue within that. So what me and my group have decided to do is we are going to be discussing that representation of women in the media, which feels very relevant to current events and everything that's going on. Which is something I wouldn't mind doing research on stream, quite frankly. I'd love to find some articles, some news that we can discuss, quite frankly, about the representation of women in the media, whether it be diversity of representation of women in media or how women are still portrayed. Like the discussion around, for example, the empowerment of a video, something like WAP, where it's those two artists, Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B, for example, choosing to use their own sexuality as their power in that video, right? In that song, using that as their own power, versus when someone else puts women in a music video and highly sexualizes them. If it's a man making a music video and puts a bunch of women dancing around in bikinis in olive oil or whatever the fuck. If they do a jelly wrestling segment in a music video, I don't know. If they do a segment where they're in a nightclub and there's a bunch of sexy girls dancing around in skimpy outfits, that's that difference between empowerment and objectification, for example. The women choosing to use their bodies for their own sake is an empowering thing, versus if it's the exact same situation, if it's the exact same kind of content but you just tweak a few details, suddenly it's objectification, which is something that has been rampant in the media for as long as we've been around. Obviously, we're all well aware of this shit. We see it. We've seen it for a very long time. We've seen it. Yeah, exactly, Maria. Conservatives don't care when male rappers do it. Exactly. Like, how often have you heard... You have heard conservatives talk about the rap music, of course. Naturally. But how often do they talk about the sexualization of women in those circumstances? Because they, quite frankly, enjoy the objectification of women when it benefits them most. There's a lot to go into in that particular subject, but you'd rather hear women talk about pussy than men, to be honest. Shen Papiro, Steven Crowder. Men sexualizing women is okay, but heaven forbid anyone else does. Fuck conservatives, stop objectifying women, full stop. And it kind of reminds me of the subject that always tends to come up when it comes to OnlyFans girls. And I may actually put this forward as an idea for the podcast to my group. The concept of, it's the exact same thing here. Women choosing to use their bodies in a sexualized manner for their own financial gain. They are choosing to do this. They are opting to create essentially pornography a lot of the time. We're aware of what OnlyFans is. But they are choosing to do it on their own terms. They are choosing to do it of their own volition, right? Versus exploitative pornography, where the women are just a part of just a cog in the whole of creating this video. And there's a lot of negativity within the adult industry. There's a lot of very bad treatment of women in the industry to create, for example, free porn that you see on Pornhub or whatever. That whole thing, it's the same kind of thing. It's like, it's good when we do it, and then you go over this
back,
Rebel.
Supporter of the cause. Oh, a button.
A button. Thank you for the sub. How are you doing? But yeah, like the OnlyFans thing, specifically speaks to that notion. And you hear this argument all the time of, if a woman's an OnlyFans creator and she's putting nudes and videos of herself having sex and all the, whatever she's doing, she could just literally be doing artsy nudes on there. She could be doing just sexy cosplay on there, whatever. You could be doing anything you want on OnlyFans. Realistically speaking, it's just another patronage website where you pay for the content, right? But, it's got a reputation as a sex worker website, which is fine. That's good. There should be a platform available for sex workers to do their work to the best of their ability and to empower themselves. But the argument, I've been trying to get to this point for the last 5 minutes. The issue always comes up. I've seen this argument thrown around a number of times by a number of creators where they have specifically said, oh, this woman's putting her naked body on the internet. She's putting videos of herself up on the internet. She's doing this, she's doing that. What about her future career prospect? right? This is always an argument that they love to use. What's going to happen when the well dries up around sex work? Not to say that it necessarily will, and if it does, that's a problem in its own that we have to unpack. But the idea that you're doing something with your body in a manner that earns you money, and they're just insinuating that you don't have any worth after that point, and eventually you're going to have nowhere else to go. You're not going to have any upward momentum. Keep in mind, some people are literally buying mansions with OnlyFans money, but that's beside the point. Yeah, remember, peasant, you're a slave to the capital. Yes, exactly. That's the idea they're trying to get, and these people who are saying these kinds of things are absolute capitalist bootleggers. They believe if you are going to go into sex work, and unfortunately this is a symptom of our society. This is very much a symptom of our society, is that sex workers are treated as demons to be exorcised, to be ostracized. You know, you're not allowed to be a sex worker in society because you will eventually reach a point where the capitalistic organizations of the world are going to dehumanize you and will refuse to hire you based on your history, which is disgusting. You have to go to work, Zaxton. Have a good one. Have a good one. Thank you so kindly for being here. Anyway, and that, yeah, there's a whole load of issues there about, you know, the concept. Yes, sex demons. Personally, I identify as a succubus. Anyway, my gender identity is a succubus. Actually, very unironically here. And I really shouldn't be spending money. Solace! I recommended your video earlier. I hope some more people watch it because I loved it. Remember, everyone go subscribe to Solace. Anyway, cue the Contra clip. Oh, I forgot which one it was. Speaking of being a sex demon. Give me a second. Succubus. I've been looking at Berserk lately, which is a website that sells a bunch of cute stuff, and I'm honestly very tempted to get one of these. This one. Either this headband or this headband. Or something similar. They're fucking cute. I don't need either of those, but I mean, they kind of fit my whole androgynous goth queen aesthetic, which I'm not super goth at the moment. I'm very, very lazy tonight. I'm not even wearing black lipstick. I'm wearing brown. So which one do we like more? Do we like the upwards pointing horns, or do we like the backwards pointing, like ram's horns? I kind of like the upwards pointing ones, and they're cheaper by $4. Both? I can't get both. I'm going to add this to my wish list. Or maybe to my cart. I've already got stuff in my cart. Backwards, you guys like the ram's horns? I don't like the upwards pointing horns. I gotta stop saying guys, by the way. I can't do both. Okay, poll it. Let's poll it. Alright, go. 2 minutes. Always say y'all. I've been meaning to say folks more often. I think my dialogue. Also, not related. I mean, it is kind of related, but I will say this. I'm also gonna buy this little baby. Look at this little baby. Look at it. Look at it. Look at this little kitty cat statue with horns and satanic imagery. Look at the baby. I need it. It baby. Scaly, adorable horned cat figurine. I don't know how big it is. 11 centimeters, so it's like not very big at all. It's teeny tiny. No more dust gatherers. Fuck off. This is berserk.com.au. This is the one. So they're an Australian-based goth site, basically. There's a whole outfit, this whole witchy outfit that I want to get. But it's like, it ends up being around $300, and I'm like, I really should not spend that money. But that's neither here nor there. And if I get the horns, which I am tempted to do now that I've looked at them, I'm really tempted to get those horns. Which I could afford. I could afford the horns. I could. I could afford, I want to get a choker, I want to get the cat figurine, and I wouldn't mind getting the horns, but I'm not going to get my whole outfit. Because the whole outfit ends up being, yeah, in excess of $200. And I do have the money, but I'm honestly trying to be a little bit good and not spend too much. You guys are thinking upwards. I'm thinking upwards. Put it on expenses. I'll tax it. I mean, I would wear the horns on stream perpetually. They would be amazing. Are you kidding? Like, I would wear those things all the fucking time. Your succubus has arrived. I'd need to get some, like, some high heels that are designed to look like cloven hooves. Any other mods up? I can moderate. It's all good. If you gotta go, Sloth, you gotta go. Have a good one. I'm literally just sitting here. I can moderate myself, don't worry. I can be a self-mod. And we're gonna end in about 10 minutes anyway. That doesn't mean leave. I'm just saying we're gonna raid someone soon. Oh, there you go. Reaper's there. Wear them on stream and count it as an investment. I should. I wonder, like, yeah, I don't know how you do that. How would you do that? How would you count these expenses as business expenses? Which I would like to do. Chatting with friends and chilling on the website. That's how you do it. I forgot what we were talking about before we got into that. Oh yeah, we were talking about OnlyFans people. Hang on, come back. I know a few people who started OnlyFans accounts when comedy stopped and they made more money in a month than they had in all their comedy careers. Yeah, exactly. Work clothes, yeah. Uniform. It's a uniform. And yeah, that's the thing. Is like a lot of people have found OnlyFans to be a really good thing. Have a good one, Sloth. Thank you so kindly for being here. And I'm glad to be back in the saddle, back again. Know in your heart that it's business, yeah. Headed out here soon. And Katie, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Rogue Room. Glad you're able to chat more this time. Enjoy being here and looking forward to returning. We should be back to it again tomorrow. Usual stuff. Meme Supreme. Do I have to look at the Meme Supreme category? Let's have a look. Yeah. I mean, okay, I guess, yeah. Yeah. I need to get myself band merch GF. How do I get band merch GF? Can someone try to like hook us up with a band merch GF? Anywho, we were talking, yeah, the OnlyFans thing. We were talking, yeah, the OnlyFans thing. It's rather interesting. Not just that, honestly, but there are a number of people who are failed comedians that built up something of a following, and then you see stuff like Steven Crowder, for example. You see people like Steven Crowder who go, and Isaac Butterfield and all that. It's like they try comedy and they insist that they're still comedians, but the comedy doesn't do anywhere near as well as they'd like. So they go to YouTube and they go to, I think Geordie's has a Twitch stream and all that. It's like, and it's not so much that, you know, it's not so much that they're failed comedians, but comedy didn't pan out as well as they'd like. And especially in the case of Steven Crowder, it's like he's not funny. He's genuinely an unfunny person. There's nothing funny about Steven Crowder. It's just blatant racism, homophobia, transphobia, constantly. Stereotyping and all that kind of shit. And in his case, and in the case of several other right-wing commentators, they found that comedy didn't work for them, so they went and they made a podcast and a YouTube channel and all this kind of stuff that, you know, allows them more of a, you know, being on the internet as opposed to performing live on stage and things like that, allows you a much greater opportunity to build a bigger audience that will see your content all the time. And there's less of that. Like, there was actually a video I saw this morning on the treadmill. The treadmills have got, like, not treadmill, the exercise bike. They got these little TV screens, and they're playing like the morning shows and stuff. And there was a guy on being interviewed by the morning show hosts. Forget what his name was, but he's now doing stand-up, having come across to stand-up comedy from being a radio host. And he was talking specifically about how when you're on a stage, you have to be engaged with that audience, you know. And I think that honestly is what scares away these particular commentators. It's like, when you're on a stage in front of an audience, you have the opportunity to bomb hard. You have the opportunity there that everyone in that crowd is going to listen to your jokes and scream you down. Whereas if you're in a studio, if you're in this kind of situation and you're not in front of an audience, you no longer really have to deal with those people, especially if you're doing pre-recorded content and you've got like a little group of sycophants around you, like Steven Crowder does, for example. The only people who are there to listen to your bullshit jokes are there to laugh with you. Yeah, it scares them away. Versus, if you're the focus and you have no direct audience to tear you down, then you become excessively confident. But in the case of these particular kinds of people, yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Yeah, the unfunny, edgy people, and they find a home online, and it's very, very easy because there's a lot of very unfunny, edgy people on the internet. But there's a difference between edgy humor and just being a cunt. Yes, except these people aren't even cunts; they lack the warmth and the depth. People have ugly things to say, will do it online, and they only seek out people who agree with them. Precisely. And like I was about to say, like a lot of these people do have a very easy time of finding an audience because there's a lot of people like them who are relying on the anonymity of the internet to not get caught out. They don't have they know the shit that they're saying is wrong. They know the shit they're saying is triggering and upsetting people. And they know that there's a lot of people out there, if they were out in real life, who would be, quite frankly, absolutely right, absolutely in the right here, to say to those people, the things you're saying are wrong, the things you're saying are detestable. These people would never say these things in person. Hey, Hundo, how you going? You just stand up and it is a joy to watch people bomb when they try awful jokes and they actually have to see real people's reactions to them. Hey, Hamburger, how you doing? Hamburger, what's going on? We're back on Twitch, it's great. Fantastic. But yeah, like we could do more of this. We could do more of this tomorrow. I think there's a lot to unpack here. I didn't get into most of the streams content for tonight, but we're gonna go raid Pizza, who's playing some Fire Emblem Three Houses. I did not get into most of what I wanted to tonight. Because yeah, but I did want to talk about the shooting story, but quite frankly, I mean, we did touch on some darker topics like the transphobic stuff, but I don't know if I'm ready to talk about a shooting on my return stream. All I know is, very, very bad set of circumstances. Very atrocious. It's an act of white terrorism. And yeah, I think it's just best if we leave that. I did want to talk about Pauline Hanson's maiden speech, which had the potential to radicalize people. Maybe we can do that tomorrow. Maybe we can do something else. Talk about the radicalization towards racist viewpoints. We need to cover a serious topic. Is it okay to wear your Mary Janes with socks? Yes. Yes, it is. It's perfectly okay, unless that's a controversial opinion. Anyway, we're going to go say hi to Pizza. I haven't updated this, so it still says Rogue Bitch on that. So we're going to not use that. But for tonight, my friends, thank you so kindly for welcoming me back to Twitch. It has been a rough week, but I will see you when I'm looking at you. Zoom. Have a good one. Be kind to yourselves and each other. I love your faces.